That's $10,000, Connor. Ha ha! Yeah! Yeah! This show is not for sharpshooters. This show is a fucking machine gun. There's no chewy center to this show. It's all hard candy. This show is not a sniper on a fucking roof. This show is a drone taking out a village. Do not invite me into your house because I will come in and I will wreak fucking havoc. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. That was a loud hey. But I feel I have to be louder, folks. And I don't know if you can hear this in the background. Someone is apparently vacuuming Los Angeles. I don't know how they got the size of the vacuum. I don't know how they were able to get such a large piece of equipment. And then, hey, I'll tell you what, let's get porno on it now. That guy's got a large piece of equipment outside, right? Although I guess he wouldn't be vacuuming Los Angeles with his large piece of equipment. He'd be doing quite the opposite. He'd be hosing Los Angeles down and then getting a squeegee out and making Los Angeles sticky. Let's make Los Angeles sticky together, folks. You and I together, let's make Los Angeles sticky.
That should totally be their town motto. We need to get a promotional campaign.
Let's do it.
Make Los Angeles sticky.
Let's call the mayor. He knows.
That's gonna be my show's new tagline.
Do it. Done.
Monday Night Teas. Let's make the town sticky.
Do it. Please take it. Look at that, folks. Look what I've done. In 30 seconds, I've created a new tagline for the hottest burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles. That's what I do. That's how I operate, folks. And all because some guy outside is running an industrial-sized Hoover all over the fucking parking lot. Again, I don't know if you can hear it. Because, again, I have earbuds on so I can hear me. But I even hear this noise over me, so I assume that you guys are hearing it too, because a lot of you eagle fucking ears are out there. Wait, eagle ears? That's not right. Eagles don't hear things. They don't even have ears. They get those like weird sleek heads. Eagles don't. The eagles are deaf. Well, that's true. The eagles are deaf. Well, just Joe Walsh. He's deaf. Actually, Joe Walsh is not deaf. Life's been good to him. All right, so it's but most of the eagles are deaf. They should be deaf, right? Aren't they old? They're not. I saw the eagles. I saw them. When did I see them? Like 5 years ago. I went to the Staples Center. You know what? Fuck that. I went to Staples Center. The Staples Center? What am I, 95 years old? I went to the Staples Center and I sat in the upper deck in the chair. Shut the fuck up. What is wrong with you? I'm thrown off, folks, by this noise outside. It's like I'm doing a show from the trash compactor in Star Wars. I'm waiting for that monster to pull me fucking underneath. God damn it. I'm going to kiss my sister. That's what I should do. I should kiss you because you're kind of like my sister. Let's do that.
No, you'll get a cold.
Well, I didn't say I was going to kiss you on the mouth. Then again, all right. The noise is gone. Now, folks, can you hear that the noise is gone? Now, I look what I did. I instinctively lowered my voice now because the noise is gone because I'm not competing with the trash compactor outside. Yeah, but it was terrible. That was a loud-ass noise. And then I was like, we got to do the show. And this is an early record. That's the thing. Nobody vacuums Los Angeles at night. This is why I don't record early in the daytime because everybody busts out their large piece of equipment and vacuums up Los Angeles outside. In the daytime, you would think you would bust out your large piece of equipment at night. Although I got to be honest, if I had a large piece of equipment, I would bust it out 24 hours a fucking day. I don't care where. In a fucking hallway, in an elevator, I don't give a. My large piece of equipment is on display if I had one. You don't. If you have a regular size piece of equipment, you do not display it nearly as often. I got to tell you. Well, I mean, you do. I'm certainly not a shy. I wouldn't stop displaying my regular size piece of equipment. However, I do. I keep it to a select few. There's just a couple of people on that list who would wind up getting, and that seems high. All right. Would you like to be on that list? Send me an email. Actually, you did already when I did number 31, and there were people who actually were like, "Dude, I want it." Yeah, I told you that. We talked about it on here. What was it? 6 women and 2 guys. And then actually, there's been and I will say this. Other requests have spurted into my mailbox since, but I figured you'd want to hear every week a weekly tote of the people who wanted a picture of my cock.
What are we up to?
Hold on, let's go to the big board. Survey. Top 400 answers are on the board. Now, 400 seems high. 100 people surveyed, top 5 answers on the board. That's me doing Mike Toomey doing Richard Dawson, because I can't do Richard Dawson, but I can do Mike Toomey doing Richard Dawson. Hi. So let me go ahead and touch base with you. It's early. It's a very early record. I got here at 10 a.m. I got here about 10:45 because Lily and I were stuck in traffic and we were texting back and forth, which is, by the way, that's really good for traffic. if two of the people, that's the reason there was traffic. Two people were texting to one another. How about this traffic? Can you believe this traffic? I'm stuck in this traffic. As we read our phones and delay like 3 lanes full of traffic as we straddle. And the guys behind us are honking. They're like, stop texting one another. And we were right next to it. That was the weird thing. We were in the same car. That makes no sense. Because Lily slept over at my place last night.
Some of it's true.
Some of it's true. Yeah. Okay. Don't say none. I want them to figure out for themselves what's true and what's not. I like this show to be a mystery. I like this show to be a conglomeration of truth and fiction, of fact and fiction, of truth and lies. I don't want to say lies. It's not really lies. This is all just a gentle bending of the truth. Lily didn't really sleep at my house last night. She wanted to. She came over and knocked. I wouldn't let her in. She was pounding on the door, quite frankly. And she's like, listen, you must let me stay over. The guy with the large piece of equipment is making noise all night outside my window. So she was at my house. And well, there's a trouble afoot at Camp Schmidt. Do I live in Camp Schmidt? Where do I live? What do we call it?
The Palatial Schmidt Estate. I always laugh.
Well, then, the Palatial Schmidt Estate. I'm Sean Connery. Oh, the Palatial Schmidt Estate. That's very difficult to say, Mike. That's my Sean Connery. Actually, that's my Daryl Hammond doing Sean Connery because I can't do Sean Connery. Actually, that's my Train Spotting Sean Connery. Oh, Miss Moneypenny. When he shoots the dog in the ass. All right, so goddamn Train Spotting. I loved that movie. I loved Train Spotting. I still do, probably. But I'm saying in the moment, I know for sure I definitely loved it. When I saw it, dude, oh, man. I saw it in the theater, and it ended, and I was with a comedian named Rex Havens, and I looked at him, and I go, I would stay here and watch that again. Like, let's watch that again. And he was like, we have a show at a club. That's why we're in town, because they paid for us, and they're probably paying for our hotel, and they probably would want us to show up at the show. And in my head, I'm like, I don't want to go to that show. And, honestly, I could think of about 200 other people who don't want me to go to that show. Anybody holding a ticket is not too excited about me showing up. So, Rex, why don't you take off, and you just go ahead and handle all of it, because they love you. That was the thing, is Rex Havens. Dude, I don't know what it was, but headliners who were beloved by crowds always took me to open for them. And, now that I think about it, that had to be cause and effect, right? Like the intense dislike and hatred that the audience had for me made them that much more likable. This was a trick. It was a ruse. I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Jimmy Pardo, Mike Toomey, Rex Havens, these people, Brian Noonan, they're all very likable and qualified and really solid headliners, but they were made to look even more so by the fact that they threw up a white-knuckled stumble bum in front of them, and people couldn't wait for me to leave the stage. So now, of course, they get all of that residual goodwill. They get the not me goodwill. That's what Pardo and I used to call it. Whenever you would go up and do well, he goes, well, I wasn't him. You know what I mean? Like, whenever the first guy in front of you tanks, you get that second boost of people loving you because you're not the last guy. Oh, my God, that last guy was awful. So you get that residual. You just surf the wave of, thank God it's not him. You know what I mean? Thank God that other dude is gone. And so, yeah, so I that's what those guys, oh, my, I didn't realize I was, dude, I never realized that in my entire comedy career, I was not him. I used to make jokes about not him all the time, and now it turns out I was not him, and that's why these guys brought me on the road.
And then the crowd was all happy when the next guy came.
They were so happy I was gone that they loved the other guy. Who's this idiot who won't stop talking? Get rid of him, please. All right. Well, see, that's the thing. Now I realize. Now I know what's happened. I don't know. How did I get into that? I don't even know because it's early. It's early, very early right now. So I got here at like 10:45, and I saw Lily and I honked at her and I waved and she ignored me and came upstairs on her own. But there's only 2 people on the street. One of them is in a car getting out, and the other one is waving frantically and honking. And you ignored that other one, and you went inside.
Did you notice that my arms were really full?
Like balloons or something.
Up the stairs, and the nice neighbor opened the door for me, and I was talking to him.
Well, the thing is, I was going to help you carry things. That's why I waved and I honked. And then you immediately turned on a heel and left me behind.
I just told you I'm all stuffed. I can barely hear anything.
In your Cruella de Vil coat. As you came upstairs, you had like a big animal print coat on.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, that wasn't me then. I walked in with 2 boxes wearing a green sweater.
There's a good chance this wasn't you. Now that I think about it, because I was a block away, I was like half a block away, and you were in front of your building. The person was in front of your building, so I honked. See, this explains a lot, quite frankly, because that person turned and looked at me. They had hair like yours and a animal print Cruella de Vil looking coat. So when I honk, and I'm used to you because you're stripper fashion. All right, well I don't know this.
Oh my God.
So I'm honking, and this person turned to look at me, and I waved, and they just immediately, like, disgustedly turned around because their arms were full. They were carrying stuff, and then they went into your building.
That's so funny.
No, it's not funny at all. That tells you how bad my eyes are, quite frankly. If I thought, I mean, how do I, dude, you got like 44 double D tits. And I mean, like, and how did I not?
I have no clue.
It's early. It was too early. I was bleary eyed. I was up late. I was up late last night and then up early today to do the show. We're doing an early record because our friend Lily has business. She's doing all sorts of stuff. She's babysitting children and she's going to magic castles and she's got a life. Basically, she has a life, folks. And I don't, as you know. I am just Travis Barbecue all the time. So she said, hey, can we go ahead and start early? And I said, yes. And then I, got her late. But that's fine. That's on me. She was late, too, because she was in traffic texting with somebody. I don't know what she's texting. Oh, she's texting me. That's right. We were ruining traffic together. I'm like, bet I beat you there. And she's like, I'm here. And I'm honking and waving. Hi, I see you. And then whoever's in that coat goes upstairs. And is right now doing their own podcast somewhere in the oldest building in Hollywood talking about missed communications.
I texted I'm here when I was in here.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I thought you were texting it from downstairs.
No,
All right. You know what?
who you waved at?
We're missed right now. That woman in the animal print coat is putting a missed connections post on Craigslist about me.
You better go check it.
My arms were full and my leopard spots were nigh. And then you were waving and honking and I went inside. Wish I would have stopped to talk to you. Yes, you do. Me and my salmon shirt. Is this salmon? What would you say this color is? Salmon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fished out of my closet because like I'm getting to wear all old clothes.
Nice shirt
Well, I know my place now.
for our record date.
Yes. Well, I wore my knockaround shirt like the last few days at work, so I didn't have to wear it today. My other knockaround shirt.
You're gonna get fired.
I am not. Are you kidding? No, are you kidding me? We're so busy. It's crazy. They are so. It's relentless. Although I will tell you this. This is happening at my work. There's all these. We're starting to be managed, which is never good. When you're at work and they keep sending you emails telling you what to do, that indicates that there is a general displeasure with how you are executing your job and how you are taking care of business. It's like if you ever get your department and it gets a memo and they're like, we need to touch base on a few basic things. And you're like, oh no, what the fuck is going on? Because they saw someone on a cell phone once and decided we need to tell everybody what they can and can't do. So we're getting these emails that are just basically like, what was the email? Yes. And I have like a seventh sense for this sort of thing where I can see it coming. It happened in Graveyardville when Roger was starting to act bananas, and I'm just like, all right, something's up. And I even told Karen, I go, I got to get another gig because he is starting to lose it, and eventually something's going to happen. And then it just fucking imploded upon itself, like really quickly, way too quickly for me to act. So this job, I see the warning signs where they started to change our duties a little bit because we're getting busier doing certain things. And then the email came where they're like, hey guys, when you're at work, you're there to work, and you don't go get coffee, and you don't go like all the like that. They're starting to kind of make sure you don't do things, and that's always death for your job when they start. It's like it's literally it's like if David Spade from Reality Bites was sending you fucking emails. You got time to lean, you got time to clean, buddy. Is that Reality Bites? Is that what he said? But that's one of my favorite fucking lines because you know why it's my favorite line? Because whoever wrote it had that said to them at a retail place. I guarantee it. Because I worked in Little Caesars, I've worked in Wendy's, I worked in all these fucking places, and there's just those fucking assholes who act like it's their kingdom, and they are going to tell you what to fucking do, and when you're there, they own you, and they can make you do whatever the fuck they want. And so that line, hey, you got time to lean, you got time to clean, buddy. It's just such death. Oh my God, it's terrible. So we're starting to get those emails where they're kind of going and making sure that things are, hey, why don't you do this? And why don't you? Oh fuck. So I've got my eye out. And again, I could also be hypersensitive to this sort of thing because I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop. I mean, I'm the guy who's waiting. What are you making faces at? What are you doing? You all right?
That line, if you've got time to lean, you've got time to clean, is quoted from Ray Kroc, who was an American entrepreneur famously for significantly expanding McDonald's Corporation in 1955.
Well, there you go. See? Then it's a real line. That's where it came from. And that's how Ray Kroc decided to kill America. He said, you got time to lean, you got time to clean. And then he started turning fucking chicken faces into nuggets. And then he made a pink slurry. That's because you ever see that video going around? They're like, here's how nuggets are made. And then it's just like this. You know what? If you don't even look at it because Whenever you go and look at that video for the chicken McNuggets being made and they show you that slurry, it just looks like they should be dumping that on somebody's head at a Nickelodeon's award show. Hold on a second. What the fuck is wrong with me today? I said the Staples Center, and I just said at a Nickelodeon's award show. It should be at Nickelodeon's award show or the Teen Choice Awards, not at a Nickelodeon. Because and a Nickelodeon, that's like that's like a speakeasy from the 20s, isn't it? So I don't know if any of them have invented a time machine and come forward and then started their own awards show, but if they did, I've got it covered, apparently. It would be dumped on your head at Nickelodeon's award show, not at a Nickelodeon's award show. God damn it. I got way too much A's and these in this show this week. I got to cut out the A's and the these, or at least figure out the difference between the two, because a Nickelodeon is completely different from the Nickelodeon, right?
Yes.
It's early. My eyes hurt. I didn't sleep much. I was up late. Filming. That's all I do. I just come home from work and film. So let me touch base on something right now. Natalie got hurt. I don't know if she got scissor wrist. I don't know what happened to the poor girl. But I recognize that I failed to talk about this last week, and so let's talk about it now. Why not, shall we? Some week, I should probably just do a show, just a loose end show, and I've talked about that on here, I think, before. Because I've retold stories in the past, but again, you know what's funny? All right, when this show started out, yeah, let's do that. That's gonna help.
Funny? When this show started.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was just
And now what's happened to it?
great.
And now look what happened. Because I did Never Not Funny last week. It was so funny. I did Never Not Funny. By the way, that's available now. If you join the Players Club at Never Not Funny. And I sat down. They have a thing called the Players Club, and that's Telly Savalas. And I walk into their offices to do the Never Not Funny show, and as I walk in, they're discussing a Kojak record album that Matt Belknap found at a thrift shop and bought for Jimmy. And now they have a T-shirt that features Telly Savalas on it now, and then they have I walk in, there's Kojak and Telly Savalas memorabilia on the shelves. So because listeners are sending it to them and all that stuff, which is great. So I sit down and the mics go live once I'm introduced after an hour. I don't know how fucking long it was. I have to sit there and listen. That's the behind the scenes of They're Not Funny. I'm literally there for 4 hours. They make me get there early, and then I have to sit outside, and then they let me in, and then I have to sit there while they talk. So fucking finally, after I'm allowed to speak, I just go, I have a question. Am I getting a cut of any of this Kojak merchandise? Because if I remember correctly, it was me who made you watch that show and brought it up the last time I was here in fucking June. And literally, I was there in June, and now it's March, and they've named their thing the Players Club, which is Telly Savalas and all this fucking Kojak memorabilia. I'm like, dude, I'm responsible for this. And Jimmy's like, absolutely not. You're not getting a dime. And I'm like, well, I'm not shocked by that. Not the first time that's happened with this organization. But it made me laugh that it, like, literally I was there because I was obsessed with Kojak, and then I told Pardo because I knew he'd love it. I knew he would love it. And sure enough, he dives right in and he fucking loved it immediately. And he does him on stage. When I saw him, he does fucking Telly Savalas on stage. He was talking about him in his act. He's doing Kojak, and I was laughing. I'm like, dude, of course. Because I knew he would love it so much. But Jesus Christ, I mean, it's like they ran with it. They fucking crazy ran with it. And the thing is, their listeners keep sending them memorabilia for Kojak, and you guys, didn't send me a goddamn thing at all from Kojak. The only thing we have, Lily and I, as a tribute to Kojak, is the two of us got waxed bald. I mean, other than that, that's really the only tribute we have to Telly Savalas on this show. Pardon me?
Are you talking about down below?
Yeah, both of us, yeah.
No, I didn't.
What? Why are you telling them what's true and not true? Again, we walk a delicate line here.
Because I don't want people to think I have hardwood floors.
But why?
I don't.
Why? What? All right. I'm going to talk to you, weirdo. I'm going to have to fucking talk to you about this. Why do you not want people to think you have hardwood floors? What do you care? What the fuck do you care?
The deforestation of vaginas.
Why?
Because it's not necessary.
It's not necessary, but it's awesome.
No, it's not.
It's fucking great.
No, it's not.
You know what else isn't necessary? Water slides, but they build them. And I'll tell you what, if you deforest a vagina and you do the proper thing, it can turn into a water slide.
It'll be a water slide anyway. If you're doing it right.
Who you talking to?
maybe.
Hey, deforest that vagina. All right, but that used to be your bread and butter. That used to be your life's blood. You used to run a salon where you did that for the ladies.
Yes.
And now you're like a person who ate meat forever. Then you like petted a dog once. And you're like, fuck it, I'm never eating anything with a face again.
I've never enjoyed being completely naked, and I would do a lot of trimming, but not full-on deforestation.
I'm a fan of all of it.
I'm a fan of a nice, attractive, well-groomed vagina.
I like vaginas. Period. I'm serious.
Vaginas, period.
That's it.
Well, then stop trying
I
to
even
change mine.
I even like period vaginas. I won't lie. I've been in that situation where I've had girls say to me, they're like, hey, there's a thing, we're just about there and everything's happening. And and then the girl is just like, hey, I got to tell you something. And I'm like, what? And they're like, well, it's kind of that time of the month. And I just look at them and I'm like, your vagina could have teeth and I wouldn't stop at this point. Believe me, I can work with this. I can absolutely work with this. It never bothers me. It doesn't bother me at all. It bothers the hell out of the woman. That's what, and I don't. Which I guess I understand that to a certain extent. And I always say to them, I go, look, if this isn't comfortable for you, if it's something that you're not comfortable going forward with, and then then you got to tell me. And then they'll say, of course, well, no, I'm okay if you're okay. And I'm like, yes, I'm absolutely okay. And then guess what? Put on a snorkel and let's go to work. All right, so. Seriously, let's get some towels and make sure this hotel never lets us come back. All right, so. Let's fucking ruin everything. It's going to be awesome. Because, folks, is there anything better than ruining everything? There really isn't. I got to be honest with you. As a guy who carries a fucking blowtorch in his car, just ruin something. And just, you know what? If you ever find yourself in doubt, just burn everything to the fucking ground. Why not, right? It's fucking great. Because then when you're old, you can tell people about it like it was great, when it really wasn't. You burned everything, and then I burned everything to the ground. Ha ha, it was awesome. So, could you sign here for your coleslaw? God damn it. And so I looked him right in the face. I was like, fuck you, man. You think you can tell me what to do? You can't tell me what the fuck to do. Sir, I'm sorry. I forgot your Cokes back at the store. All right. Fucking awful. All right, so Natalie got hurt. And so I had to go and involve myself in another person's activity of hair cutting. What am I, fucking Elmore Leonard? Just talk. Just fucking talk. Why are you trying to fucking I try to put backspin on that like a curveball. Just fucking talk. Jesus Christ. You're not Damon Runyon. Just tell a fucking anecdote. Trying to tart it up, for fuck's sake. You're not a word pimp. All right.
That's the name of the show.
What is?
Word Pimp.
Dude, that should be the name of the podcast. Honestly, from now on, when we start year 7, let's just change the show to Word Pimp. Word Pimp with Mike Schmidt. And this is a glorious show for the new people, because I'm sure with Never Not Funny we have all of these new listeners who've come over.
Welcome to Word Pimp.
And also when I did Comedy Film Nerds, I did a giveaway, and I should have done the giveaway on Never Not Funny now that I think about it, where I gave away year 1 to people who are new. So let's, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to throw this out there right now. Hey, Ashley, who wrote me, who listened to me on Comedy Film Nerds. You said you were going to start listening to the show and you wanted year 1 to get started and you were going to start. Well, I'll tell you what, if you hear this, you have a week to email me and I will send you a You and of Evil box set. This will prove whether or not you're really on fucking board with the show. So Ashley, if you, who wrote me, you heard me on Comedy Film Nerds and you got a year 1, a free year 1 sent to you, and you downloaded it like immediately. So that was why this is a big deal, because a few people did not. But Ashley, you did. So I'm telling you this right now. If you can write me in a week and tell me that you heard this, I will give you a You and of Evil box set on me, and then you'll have all of me jammed into your box somewhere. That didn't sound good at all. Hold on, let me take that back, Ashley. I apologize. Jammed into your mailbox. I should, the word mail really changes that entire sentence. You'll have me jammed into your mailbox. See that? You throw mail in there and everybody knows what you're talking about. But if you've got me jammed in your box somewhere, that's probably bad. For you, certainly. Not for me. Although I got to be honest, if you get me jammed into your box properly, we're gonna have a water slide on our hands. So, so Natalie got hurt, folks. I don't know if you know this. This was a long time ago. She wound up getting hurt, and so she had to push me off. She had to shun me. She had to reject me as she went in to get repaired. They wheeled her off to a hair hospital, and she had to get all fucking taken care of. So they went ahead and sent me off to a. God damn it, I love me. I'm sorry, I fucking love me. Fuck Elmore Leonard and fuck Damon Runyon. I am them. God damn it. My tongue is throwing curveballs all the goddamn time, and I'm in. Dude, fucking nobody turns a phrase. Nobody. All right. Yeah, they do. You know what's so funny? I get that way where I get that fucking weird jolt of adrenaline where like I'm the funniest fucking guy on earth, the funniest guy on earth. And then in my car, and I'll hear 3 minutes of Jim Gaffigan, and I go, I'm never talking to a microphone again. He is a fucking joke machine. I mean, it is relentless. I always think I'm like, oh yeah, but all I'm doing, again, he is full of precision. He is so well written and so fucking brilliant. It is so brilliant to hear Jim Gaffigan work. And I'll hear that all the time. I'll be online, and I'll tell you this: I listen to a lot of the Comedy Channel now in my car, and to the point where because I'm trying to psych myself up and go, dude, you do this, you can do this, right? And then you hear Jim Gaffigan and you go, I can't fucking do that. I can't. He is top of the line. Like I'll be honest, him and Brian Regan, like guys like that, you go, where do they go from there? Like. Gaffigan has to be on TV and has to do movies and stuff like that because he's conquered stand-up comedy. He's mastered it. There is nothing he can do that will ever be better than what he's done. He can only stay on that level, and that's fine if you want to play. It's like that's why Michael Jordan left for fucking baseball. We talked about this, although I talked about it in a much different context. I'm talking about Gaffigan from TV to movies. I'm talking about from eating pussy to sucking a cock. That's how I did it with me. You got to challenge yourself. But like Gaffigan, he's like the Michael Jordan of comedy. You hear it and you're like, oh my God, it's incredible. And also, he didn't burn out. You know, he's still brilliant. He didn't fucking burn brightly and disappear. Because I'll tell you this, because I heard Mitch Hedberg. I was listening to Mitch Hedberg on the Comedy Channel, and you're dumbfounded at the brilliance. You go, oh my God, you wonder how it would be to live in that head. I don't even understand it. Because I always talk about I have a head full of bees and I'm this and I unleash them and but I can't even touch those fucking guys. You know, and I'll tell you this, by the way, if you ever want to see me move as quickly as I've ever moved in my life, be in the car with me when Mitch Hedberg goes to Steve Harvey on the radio, because I can't, my thumb has never moved that quickly. I just off, gone, bye. I just sat through unadulterated brilliance and now I've got to hear a toupee yell at me from a stage? Fuck that. Fuck you, Family Feud. Not interested. Bring back the dead guy. Just a living microcosm of the unfairness of the world right there. Mitch Hedberg dead. I have to listen to his brilliance, and then it goes right to Steve Harvey, who's still alive and cashing fucking checks. Just a life support system for a toupee at this point, and he's still getting paid for it. You ever heard the phrase sweep it under the rug? They're talking about Steve Harvey. Folks, if you could hear a smile, that's what it sounded like. I couldn't talk because my face forced itself into a smile and would not stop. That's how much I love what I just said. I couldn't even laugh. My mouth just twisted itself into an evil grin and wouldn't stop. It wouldn't go away. Oh, that was awesome. You know what? I should just send that clip to XM. Play this. It's funny. Dude, people write. Did I talk about XM on here? People are like requesting me, and they're like, "Dude, we don't know who that is." And so I talked to Belknap at Special Thing, and I'm like, "Dude, you know, because that was the whole deal. Is I didn't want XM. I didn't want to be on XM because we released the album with 2 tracks, and you know, so I was like, "Well, you got to play all of it. You got to play a 45-minute track," because I thought I was special. And then I started talking to people, comedians, about XM and the money they make, and I'm like, God damn it! Why am I not? And I like gravy and I like trains. Why the fuck am I avoiding this? So I talked to Matt, and I'm like, dude, can we like somehow figure out a way to get XM the CD and chop it up or whatever. And he's just like, well, we sent them the CD when it first came out. I'm like, so wait a minute. So now they hate me? Is that what you're telling me? They fucking hate me? Because I just read an article with the guy from XM, and he's talking about how they get CDs that they don't feel are, they don't sound good or whatever, and they just throw them right on a pile, like they can't even play them. He goes, there's no greater regret I have than having to tell a comedian I can't play them because their stuff isn't good enough, or their CD, it doesn't sound right. And I got to be honest with you, comedians, if you're listening to me, and you were rejected by XM because of the sound quality of your CD, just quit the business. Because I have heard CDs on there that sound like they were recorded in a tomb. I hear a guy on stage and it sounds like they ran a microphone down into the gas tank of his car and he recorded it from there. The audience sounds like it's 1,000 yards away and it's just this echoey fucking noise. I mean, dude, it's terrible. It's as bad as the fucking bootlegs they play on the Springsteen channel. Dude, that drives me crazy. There's a Springsteen channel and a Pearl Jam channel, okay? Well, Pearl Jam's channel, they play, all the studio albums, but they have tons of live material that they play. But the thing is, Pearl Jam, I don't know how they were this prescient, but they have basically been recording their live shows forever. So they have all of the audio. Like, there'll be something from 1992's Lollapalooza tour that sounds just as good as something from last week in fucking New Haven. I mean, it's incredible. Whereas Springsteen, they because that was the thing is before when the internet hit, there was all these bootlegs and stuff of Springsteen. Well, it wasn't the internet. It was before the internet. People would pass around the Springsteen bootlegs. But then once the internet hit, people were able to trade them and stuff like that. Well, then they sent them to this fan channel and this fan station plays them. Even though I don't even get this. It's Bruce's channel. So he's authorized the use of these bootlegs. But then when you hear them, it's like, dude, you have professional recording equipment. Play that. I don't need to hear something that was recorded from Rerun's pants. I mean, honestly, I just don't need that fucking show. Because it's awful and tinny and terrible. Oh my God. And the weirdest thing is sometimes they'll have a recent show of Springsteen, and it's just that bad, too. It's like some bad audio. Dude, who's bootlegging Springsteen now? Like Vital Young Springsteen, I understand. But now... fucking Jimmy Crack Corn Springsteen? No thanks. I'm just not into it. I don't. And look, I love Bruce Springsteen. He's a genius, and his old songs, because that's the thing is it shines through periodically. He was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tribute. I think it was last year. It might have been 2 years ago. And he was at the end. I don't think he was inducted. Maybe he was. Maybe it was the year he was inducted. I don't fucking know. All I remember is he did Jungle Land. Now I've seen him 3 times, and when I saw him in Chicago in 85, or 86, I should say, at Soldier Field, honestly, I don't recall if he did Jungle Land. All I remember about that show was punching a guy after it and seeing tits. That was one of the first times I saw public tits, and I was like, oh my God, like as a kid. It was 86, what was I, 19? I was just about to turn 19. And there was a girl, because it was super hot at Soldier Field. Oh man, you know how things just stay with you? The whole day I could describe it, and I think I have. I think I've talked about it on here. And because I've certainly told the story about the fight at the end. But there was a girl, and it was like 98 degrees and humid. It was one of those fucking vicious Chicago summer days. We all waited outside to get in. It was general admission. And then when we got inside, you just fucking waited for Bruce for 7 hours. And I happened to see these 2 women. Not women, they were girls. They were my age, 18, 19. And they walked over, and there was a faucet. Like you could get under this running shower, you get water. They wanted you to fill it or drink it. It was anything to try to keep people cool. It's like a mister. Sometimes they have misters. I actually went to a show and saw a Mister. It was great. I had a date. I took Kyrie Elias on. And so these women... girls walked over to, and there was a line like to get into the faucet, and the one girl was just like filling a bottle, and then she would like kind of pour it on her head or whatever. But the one girl she was just wearing a white tank top, like a Springsteen Born in the USA tank top, and I will never forget it. She just went under the water and let the water run over her head and soak her tank top, so to where you could basically see everything. It's a wet white tank top. But as if that wasn't enough, she's got her eyes closed under the water, just letting cold water run all over her, and she looped her thumbs into the sleeves, the non-sleeves, into the straps of the tank top, and pulled it in So her breasts came out the side and just let the water run down her hair and her face and her tank top, and then unleashed her fucking tits, and was wearing shorts and flip flops and just neon because it's fucking 86. And I stared. I won't even. I can't even front. Oh, apparently, I'm Run DMC. I don't know why I fucking said that. I can't. I won't even. I remember the moment because I was just standing there waiting, and dude, I was losing myself in her anyway because the fact that she had such abandon, like she just didn't care. Like it's like there were other people very careful about what they looked like and stuff, but she just didn't. She didn't give a fuck. She let her hair get wet. She didn't care about that, and she let her fucking tank top get wet, and then she just pulled the loops in, and her tits came out the side on either side, and she had a runner's body, so that was the thing. It wasn't like she had giant breasts. She probably like I'd say a 34A, maybe a 32B. I don't know. I have to recheck the bra I stole out of her bag. Anyway, but I sat there slack jawed and stared, and it was a real Phoebe Cates in Fast Times at Ridgemont High type of moment for me, where in his dream he sees her get out of the pool and she walks over and she smiles at him. She's like, "Hi, Brad. You know how cute I always thought you were," because I was staring. And I'm sure my lip was drool. I was terrible. Because I was 18, I had no fucking... I mean, I don't have game now. I didn't have game then. But I'm just sitting there staring at her, and the water's running down her hair, and her friend is just talking to her, and they're talking, but she's kind of just listening. She's not... Under the water, she loses herself, completely loses herself in it. And does the loops, to the point where I wonder if she even knew that she did it, but of course she did. She knew what she was doing. She didn't like the clinging tank top, so she fucking... dude. And then she stopped, and she stepped out of the water, and men frozen, all just staring, all of us staring. And she reached up and she pulled her hair back and wrung it out. You know how you wring out long hair? And she did it, and she threw it over her right shoulder. So it was over her right shoulder, over the tank top. And she had let the tank top go back to where it went wherever it wanted because it was wet and it was clingy, and she didn't carefully readjust it back over her tits. She just didn't care. And it was just that full of life, and not giving a fuck. You could just see she didn't give one fuck. She was there to be herself and have a good time, and all of us were frozen by it. Because there's something special about women who take possession of themselves or take possession of their sexuality and harness its power, and they know how they can use it. And again, she was 18, 19. Maybe she didn't even know that. I could be investing a lot of how I feel in what she did. Clearly, I could be doing that 30 years on. But it was just such a devastatingly powerful moment for me that when I look back, I mean, I can see it. I can see it happening. And she wrung out her hair and she threw it over her right shoulder, so it kind of came over, and she walked by. And of course, guys were like, "Woo!" or they're yelling and all that shit. And she just ignored it. She didn't fucking care. She gave no fucks. And she walked by, and I didn't know what to do. I was just staring and looking. And she walked by, and she looked at me, and she just smiled right in my face. One tit hanging out one side, and the shirt just kind of hanging loosely over her. And I just watched her walk away and blend into the crowd. Oh man.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I don't know where I went there. I'm sorry.
I wish people could have seen you sitting here with your eyes closed describing
Oh,
it.
well,
It was hot.
oh, I'm sure it was. You don't have to make fun of me. That's fine. But you have those moments. You have things that you see in your mind's eye, and you remember them forever. And I remember that forever. I mean, I can see a lot of that day and what happened. The fucking debacle with the watermelon in the morning, and getting at Pete's house in the morning, and then the fight afterwards, and the show, but that moment, Jesus Christ, that fucking 90 seconds was, or 2 hours. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I have no idea how long it was. Honestly, Springsteen could have played his entire fucking concert, and I would have just stood there and stared at that girl. It was that powerful for me. God damn, it was amazing. So I don't know if he did Jungle Land or not. And here, I guess that's why. I don't know if he did Jungle Land, but I fucking remember that. But at the Hall of Fame, he was at the Hall of Fame, and he did He did Jungle Land a couple years ago. And here's my beef with Springsteen, and I'm sure he cares. Um, as we get older, everyone gets older and their voice changes and things. And I talked about Zeppelin last week, where I was talking about how Max told me, he's like, you got to hear the Immigrant Song because it's when Robert Plant could still sing. And I mean, he can sing now, but he's not Robert Plant. I mean, he is Robert Plant, but he's not fucking Robert Plant. When you saw that stuff back then, you knew what it was to be sung at. You knew what rock and roll was. You knew what the fuck was happening. It was like he was just a cock, screaming at you, and you're like, yes. And now he's a terrific old man who hangs out with Alison Krauss, and good for you. And that's the problem, is that your heroes get old, and you see them get old, and you want them to always be what they were. And that's why it's funny. I love Van Halen, and I'm pissed at myself, actually, because I was thinking, because Van Halen now looks like they may never tour again. You know what I mean? And I saw the tour the last time, and I did a show about it, and I bitched about Dave. And I was talking about how his shtick was old for me, and I didn't care for it. And I actually got into an argument. Remember, I said, fuck you to a guy after the show, and wound up in an argument outside the Staples Center with a guy. And, I should have just enjoyed it for what it was. I should have just been happy to see my heroes on stage and go, this may never happen again, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to fucking enjoy it. And I did with Eddie, and I did with Wolfie, but I held Dave to a different standard, when in reality I shouldn't. I remember once I did a show and I was talking, and I just said the phrase blue-eyed murder in a size 5 dress. And I said, Dave never has to do anything else. He never has to do anything else. He wrote blue-eyed murder in a size 5 dress. And if you write that, you get carte blanche. Do whatever the fuck you want. You want to wear high-waisted pants and dance around in Vegas? You want to play drums on a coconut? Do whatever the fuck you want to do. That's fine. You want to live in a fucking mansion in Pasadena with one light bulb? I think it's awesome. Go ahead and do it. I don't give a fuck. I'm mad at myself because I almost wonder, for show content, I didn't choose to pick a bone with Dave so I could talk about it, because instead I should have just been happy. I should have just been happy that something that I loved was recreated in front of me, and not worried about it. But here I am about to bitch about Springsteen. You know what I mean? Like, because we want him to be who he was. I want him to be 1975 Born to Run Springsteen. I want him to be, that guy, and he can't be. He can't be. And he can show glimmers of it. He can certainly go out and fucking get it done. But I'll be like, oh, good, the Promise. I don't want to hear the fucking Promise. Well, what the fuck do you care? He wants to play the Promise, and he gets to fucking play the Promise because he has earned the right to do that. Your heroes have earned the right to grow, and you need to let them do that. And I don't often enough. I'm going to bitch about Springsteen because his voice is real. He sings a lot through his nose now, and I can't listen to it. It's not something I enjoy, but that doesn't mean it's bad or it's wrong. And there are people who still love him and want to see him and see him do those things, and that's fine, and that's good. Do that. I should just let him be who he was and love the things that I loved about him, and then let everything else go into the ether. You should do that with everything that you love. You should take the things that you love and fucking squeeze them to death, and then let everything go away. If you don't agree with something if you know somebody who's done something that you really love, and then they have a misfire or a misstep in your eyes, they're allowed that misfire. They're allowed that misstep. They should be able to do those things and make those mistakes. That's part of being an artist. That's part of being creative. That's part of being who they are. Because you know what? You're on a journey with them, but they're on a journey with them. They're still trying to figure out who they are, and they want to be everything they want to be to themselves. So to hold them to an impossible standard of who they were then betrays who they want to be now. And if you love what they did, then you should allow them the room to do what they do. Now let's talk about tits under a waterfall. All right, so I don't know where that came from. I really don't. Because I'm mad at myself. I'm finding myself conflicted a lot because I don't want to bitch. I don't want to be angry about things. I don't want to be upset by the things that I enjoy. And yet I find myself making fun or being snarky or doing those things. And it's just, I don't like doing that. I don't. Why not just love things? Why don't you just love the stuff that you love? Now, does that mean I'm going to stop making fun of everything? Absolutely not. That's all I'm going to do is continue to make fun of everything because that's me. I'm a mystery, and I'm stuffed in a riddle, wrapped inside of an enigma, and then I'm jammed right into Ashley's box. See, that's terrible. There's no way she's listening. I guarantee it. So I don't even know how I spun off into all of that. What were we talking about?
Lost me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Literally, sound less involved if you possibly could. That would be great. Um, yeah, we were, oh, you know what? Natalie got hurt. I do know that. Um, so Natalie used to cut my hair, and then unfortunately, like I said, she went off to Follicle General, and she had to get fucking operated on, which is fine. But then she told me, she goes, "Hey, you're going to want to embrace young Missy. Missy is going to take over and do your hair." Now I go and I join Missy, and Missy gives me a haircut, and she gives me this first haircut, and it's fucking. I mean, it's really well. Let's talk about Missy for just a second too. Missy is she's a petite little cute blondie. She's really uh, she's got that girl next door look. Other than the fact that she probably weighs about 100 pounds, and 74 pounds of it is ink. So. I mean, knuckles up the arms. I mean, the whole. I mean, she is just. And so we're talking. The first time she cuts my hair, as I watch it unfolding in the mirror, and I see my hair becoming gorgeous. I'm like, she fucking. I mean, well, what's left of it? But I mean, she did what she could with everything that I had. I like that phrase. She did what she could with everything that I had. That's the story of every woman I've ever met in my life. She did what she could with everything that I had. Was it enough? Probably not. She made every effort that she could, but I certainly didn't bring enough to the table to make her happy. So Missy was doing that. She's forging through my head and making it work and fixing it and making me look decent and presentable. And we get to talking about her ink, and then she had some sticker on her box, her fucking box thing. Jesus Christ. Now every box reference is going to sound terrible, but I don't mean it to, folks. She has. You know how fucking head workers, Jesus fucking Christ, I can't even talk. Haircut people, they have like a toolbox with all their shit in it. Like whenever you go to one of these fancier hipster joints, they have the thing that they unpack, and it's got their barbicide in it and combs and fucking metal rings, whatever the fuck. So that's the girls who cut my hair keep their rings in there. So she has like a big toolbox with a bunch of stickers on it, and one of them has like a name, and I don't know if I can't. She's a model. It turns out that she's a model. And as inked up as she is, I guess you could understand what kind of model she is. I don't think she did any nudes online, but I Googled her immediately when I got home. And the thing is, she used to have a modeling name because she was associated with a website. And then she stopped being associated with that website, but I think she kept the modeling name, but then they wanted her to drop it. And it was just this huge fucking mess. I mean, I loved Missy. She was great, but every time I talked to her, she had that story, and I was like, oh my god. So there's always some poor, people like that. Fuck that. I guess I'm like that, really, when you think about it. No matter what happens when you talk to them, they're always like, oh my god, you're not gonna believe this happened. Like that person. And she's great. She's awesome, and she cut my hair amazingly. But then I just see her last week, and she tells me she's moving. She's like, and thank God I called her because I was like, I got a big month coming up. So I had to get a haircut. So thank God, if I would have gone to see her and she would have been gone, it would have been crazy disappointing. But she's moving out of state. So she's like, I'm going to introduce you to a new person who can do your hair, Cassandra. And I'm like, no. I go, Natalie will do my hair. Because I'll tell you this, Missy, even after Natalie was released from Holy Scalp Hospital, she came back to work, and I still continued to see Missy, which was awkward and strange for me. Apparently not for anybody else. But also, Natalie, she manages the shop. So it's not like she needs clients. She only cuts hair a couple times a week. And the rest of the time, she's managing the shop. But I still felt awkward and weird every time I would walk past her and say hi and hug her and say, how you doing? And then go sit in Missy's chair. It felt like cheating on your girlfriend in front of her. Like, it was so fucking strange. So she brings out Cassandra, and I told Natalie, or I told Missy, I go, no, dude, I'll just go back to Natalie. And she's like, oh yeah, Natalie works a couple of days a week, but yeah, that's perfect. That's a good idea. As long as she takes you back. And then she walks away, and I thought of it, and I'm like, wait a minute, has this been like scuttlebutt in the break room? And I didn't know, like, I defected to Missy, and now Natalie, I'm dead to Natalie? I don't want to be dead to Natalie. She says hi to me. She hugs me when I show up at the shop. But if I try to call and schedule with her, she's going to go, nah, man, your fucking head's dead to me. I got no interest in it. I worked on that head, and now it's fucking gone. I've done all I can do with your head. And then I'm going to be stuck with Cassandra, this new chick. Because then Missy comes out and goes, hey, Cassandra, this is how you cut Mike's hair. You do this and you do this. And she's like shaping it and showing her. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking be anybody's tutorial. Fuck that. I want to go back to old comfort. I want to go back into the arms of Natalie and have her fucking, because, Natalie got hurt and I was there for her when she got hurt. But then, of course, I abandoned her. That's like, oh, dude, you ever hear those? You know who I am? I'm the Newt Gingrich of haircuts. That's not fucking good. God damn it, my haircut person got cancer and I bailed on her. I went to another haircut person, a younger haircut person, a different version, another blonde, younger, hotter version. Although she's not hotter than Natalie. Natalie's fucking hot. But now it's like, well, if she wants to take you back, like, I don't, dude. And so Cassandra leaves, and after learning all about my skull. And then Missy comes back and she's like figuring out the cut. And also they do this awkward thing at Floyd's. You have to get a massage from them. And I say have to, because they just do it. It's this reflex now. They cut your hair and then they have a personal hand massager they put on and they rub your shoulders so they're rubbing your shoulders, but also it's vibrating. So it's fucking, I say have to, but clearly want to. Like, it's the greatest. Like, and don't think that every time it happens, I don't wonder about buying that machine and jerking off with it. I mean, you just...
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, that would work. That would have to work. Because you wouldn't even have to do... You know what? I guess that's the lazy man's jerk off, really. Because, I mean, you don't have to do anything. You just kind of put that on your hand and then you just grab it. You get a fucking grip on it. And you just fucking shake it up till something spills out, right? That's what you do. See, I go lady. Because I may have some experience in this area. I don't know if you want me to go into it, and I'm probably not going to, but I will tell you that is not something that you should avoid if you're ever thinking about it. If you're because guys are like, I would never use a vibrator type thing on that area. Maybe you should. That's all I'll say. It's not bad. It's actually pretty fucking great. And if it's being used on you in conjunction with all sorts of other stuff, that's kind of cool too. That's probably all I should say about this, I would imagine. You'd like me to continue? Well, why don't I then? Let's talk about this. Awful. Yeah, Lily's plugging her ears and I don't blame her. So my point is that but I think about it every time when she's got that fucking shaky thing. So then she's rubbing my shoulders and it's always awkward because you want to go, we're friends. You kind of don't have to do that. But then you're like, no, that's why I'm here. Fucking rub my goddamn shoulders. Vibrate me now. So I was talking to Missy and I'm like, I don't think I'll go to Cassandra. I'll go back to Natalie. And she's just like, well, that's cool. Natalie's great. But now I don't know what to do. Now I'm lost. I'm a man without a hairstylist. I can't be that. Right? Cassandra's never going to remember what to do to my head. She's probably not going to... She gave me your card. I don't want your card. Ugh. So now I don't know what to do. Like, I'll need a haircut in 3 weeks. And what do I do, folks? What do I do? I got to call Natalie, right, and schedule with her. But what if she doesn't take me back? Everybody leaves. Everybody leaves, folks. And I'm not alone in this. I guarantee Natalie's having this exact same conversation on her podcast, Hairbuds. I'm sure she's doing it right now. What if she had that? What if you Googled it and it was really there? Hairbuds. Like fucking hairdressers. Oh my God, that'd be hysterical. No, it wouldn't be hysterical. It would be certainly a weird thing that I had predicted it without even knowing about it. Let me tell you this. What if you went and you found the Hairbuds podcast and it was me and Natalie and I never even told you about it? And we had and that would make, that would make leaving her that much weirder. If we had a Hairbuds podcast and then every week we had to record it, but then when I went to get a haircut, I went to Missy and I walked right past her. Oh, dude. Actually, I want to do that now. Now I'm going to ask fucking Natalie if she wants to do a podcast with me so we can do a podcast and then I can ignore her when I get to the shop. Dude, it'll be fucking never-ending tension. Maybe I get a podcast called Never Ending Tension. I'll tell you this. I don't, I do this, and I'm slipping away a little bit in that this is the only, it's not the only, this is what I do. This is what I fucking do. I told you, I get lost in doing the other day gig because I have to do it because you got to do it to stay alive. But then I get a respite because every Wednesday I get to come here and be me, and it's fantastic. And this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And thank you to all of you for allowing me to do that. But this week I actually had another respite. A friend of mine. Well, first of all, I got an email out of the blue that I didn't know was coming. That's what out of the blue means, idiot. All right. Fucking dumbass. So, I got an email from a guy, and he's like, "Hey, I'm sure that Sharon Houston told you about this, but we want to see you for the audition for the NCAA spot on Thursday between 10 and noon, and you got to come in and please. And it had a breakdown of what it was." So I read it, and like I said, I wasn't anticipating being booked. I didn't know I was going to be auditioning for anything. I had no idea, but I'm certainly not going to pass it up. Unfortunately, the next day, they wanted me between 10 and noon. Well, I was to be at the day gig at 10:30 all day. I was working a double. And there's these moments where I have to realize who I am. Yeah, it's fucking strange. You know what I mean? I used to have these moments before where you just, why are you in town? Why are you here? Did you come to town to deliver corn? Or did you come to town to audition for shows? Well, I clearly came to town to audition for shows. But then you run into that wall of, well, delivering corn is what's paying your bills. Well, yes, I understand that. But if I get a show, then that also helps too. And and it's not really that bad or that difficult an argument. Because like I said, I keep a blowtorch in the car at all times. So if I have to decide between one or the other, guess fucking what? Somebody's corn is getting cold. So I decide that I'm going to go to the audition. So it's between 10 and noon. So I try to figure out a way. I look where the audition is, and it just happens to be 1.8 miles away from where I work, which works out great. So I figure I'll bus down there at 10 a.m., and then I will hop over to work. Everything will be fine. I'll be seen early. We'll go. Well, the problem is, as you know, when you go to auditions, you're never seen early. You're barely seen on time because they wind up getting behind, and they get guys in, and they ask them to do different things, and it turns into a thing. And all that's true and all that's bad enough. However, I left my house in the valley at 9 a.m., figuring I would get to the audition by 10 a.m. and then head to work. Still in my car at 10:20.
Oh, my.
And in my head went, I can't go. Because I will tell you this too. I normally get to work at 11:30, which is why it wasn't going to be a problem, except for the fact that they needed me early that day because we have businesses that order and they need their orders quicker or earlier. And the fact that I'm a 46-year-old man who even has to consider this or discuss it is a colossal failure on all fucking levels. And that's my fault, and I recognize it, and I need to fucking do something about it, and I am by trying to do auditions, but if you can't go to auditions because you're delivering fucking corn, what the fuck? So I'm in the car and I have to make a decision because these two had to be there early. And so in my head, I looked at where the deliveries were going, and I'm like, they were actually a mile from where I was going to audition. So if I can take these two deliveries, drop them, stop, audition, and then get back to work, that's going to be ideal. So I take the first delivery, and these motherfuckers make me wait, and they start going through stuff, and it just was like a fucking. And look, I get it. If you paid $600 for something, you want to go ahead and put your snout in it and figure out if it's fucking everything you wanted it to be. But don't you recognize that I'm supposed to be somebody? I'm supposed to be somebody, goddammit. Right now I'm a nobody. But I'm supposed to be somebody. And a mile from here, they are waiting for me to show up and be somebody. So they killed all my fucking time. I hustled over to the second delivery, and they were much nicer and certainly more efficient. But by the time I got out of there, it was fucking 11:30. So I had a half hour to get over to audition, and I'm like, fuck. I said, you know what? You got to try. You got to try. So I hopped in the car, and I fucking floored it, and I'm zooming through traffic, and I'm trying, because now I'm like 2.5 miles away. And it's all just, as you know, as I've talked about before, it's like with the bus. If you're going somewhere specific, the bus could get you there in fucking 9 minutes. However, with red lights and other people and fucking traffic and everything else surrounding you, all the accoutrement to your fucking trip, it takes fucking 4 hours to get you to your house, and you want to murder everybody. So I'm flying, I'm trying, I'm moving, I'm grooving, I'm on the fucking 405, and I'm hopping over to get off by Olympic, and I'm trying to get over to Colorado, and it's just all this fucking zooming around, and time is ticking away. And I'm still working, so I got to get back to work just in case there's other fucking stuff that needs to be taken out. But honestly, fuck that, because I'm supposed to go be somebody. So I'm on my way over, and I'm flying, I'm changing lanes, and now it's 11:45. And I recognize there's like 15 minutes left, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get there right at noon, and hopefully they see me, hopefully. And hopefully I don't smell like meat when I walk in the goddamn door, because that's the last thing I want is the producer to go, hey, who's the funny rack of ribs? Whoa, you okay?
Yeah.
Do you need, I think I actually heard that. It sounded like a gunshot. That was fucking loud. Folks, listen back. And if you hear a click, that was Lily's knee. And now she's in pain. Oh, my God. Are you all right? You sure? Dude, I mean, that's louder than your jaw. God damn it. Lily's falling apart. You ever see one of those like marionettes that's all string and plastic, and then you push the button at the bottom and it goes, and like all its limbs come out? That's Lily.
Thanks.
I don't mean it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just sort of, I want you to be fixed. I wish you were feeling better.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Wow, that was just, dude, I've had that happen though. Cause again, it's that weird, like I said, when I get driving neck, cause I'm a guy who gets old. And so you move and your fucking leg zigs when it should have zagged. And you're like, oh, that's going to hurt for 4 months. So I'm hoping that I can just get there and it'll be fun. So I'm in sight. I'm actually on the street where the fucking audition is, and I look and there's no parking, and I'm like, God damn it, really? So then I'm going to double park because I actually have a sign in my car that says I'm a delivery dude. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to double park and pretend that like I'm delivering ribs and go in and read a script. That's what I'm going to do. God damn it. So I'm driving. I find a spot away from the delivery like thing, but also double parked. But it's also going to block in a car. But I'm hoping they see me quick because I don't fucking care. And I put the car in park and I put on the flashers and I put the fucking sign in the window and my phone rings. And I look down and it's a 310 number. And I don't answer my cell phone very much anymore because there are a lot of people who want to talk to me that I don't want to talk to. Courtesy of my marriage ending. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to avoid all that. So I let it finish and it says there's a voicemail. And I look at it and I go, well, it is a local number. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, what if it's work? What if it's somebody there telling me I got to get back there for this and I can call and make an excuse? Fuck. So I get out of my car and I've got the phone and I've got my Bluetooth in my ear, which I got to take out before I get in for the audition. Otherwise, I look like, oh, excuse me. Hi, I'm Captain Important. Where do I sign in? Fucking idiot. And as I listen, it's Josh who sent me the email about the audition. He goes, hey, it's Mike. It's Josh. Just letting you know we missed you today. We're sorry. And I'm walking into the building. I'm walking into the building. Hey, Mike, it's Josh. I'm sorry we missed you today. We really wanted to see you for the NCAA spot. Sharon recommended you pretty highly. So we're having callbacks on Thursday, and we'd love for you to come to those.
Awesome.
I'm literally standing in the building. If he walks out of the office, he's going to see me. Although he doesn't know the fuck I am because Sharon told him who I was. But this was Tuesday of last week. And then, he said, come in Thursday. And I was off Thursday. It was like a miracle that I was going to be off because I was off Wednesday and Thursday to do the podcast. And then Thursday, I just happened to be off. And he's like, we wanted you to come in Thursday for callbacks. And dude, just this relief washed over my body where I was like, because I fought it and this will sound stupid. It was just a victory to get there. It was a victory to make the effort to not sign, because I could have very easily just gone, you know what? I'm going to make $90 and not even fucking think about it. But dude, you can't fucking sell your dream for $90. And is my dream to do an NCAA spot? I don't know. Who knows what the fuck it leads to? I have no idea, goddammit. My dream is to be in a room with somebody who goes, yes. That's it. That's my dream. And that includes acting or fucking or whatever you want to look at it as. My dream is to be in a room with somebody who looks at me and says, yes. Yes is the perfect dream. So I'm standing there and I'm listening to his voicemail and he's like, yeah, we'll contact you and we'll let you know. We'll come in Tuesday between 10 and noon. And I was like, fuck, gorgeous. So I go out to the car. I go back to work. Everything's fine. I work. Wednesday, I record the podcast. And then I had some time to prepare because I knew what they wanted from me. Here was the only, and again, here's the thing where I bitch. The audition had no script. They want you to just come in and be funny. They're like, dude, just come in and it's like an improv spot. So like, and by the way, it's a hidden camera thing. So like you'll come in and you'll just fire away and be funny and, improv something for a while and then we'll all have a good time. And I'm just like, and it's so funny, dudes. I'll find anything to fucking bitch about, obviously, because I was so happy to be included and so happy to be involved. But at the same time, in my head, I'm going, could you write a fucking script? Could you just write a fucking script so I would have something to say? Because it says no profanity and don't say anything that the NCAA or anybody would find offensive, but you just come in and you're going to, because the whole, all right, I'll tell you exactly what it is. Here's what the spot is. It's an NCAA spot and you're a bench. Like a bench like in football or in baseball or basketball. You're a talking bench. And they will have guys come in and sit on you, and then you will talk to them and you will make fun of them about their grades. And it's a stay in school thing, basically. Hey, pay attention in school, keep your grades up, or you'll never get on the court. Like it's that thing. So they give you some examples, and and I will tell you this, they even apologize for it in the sides that they gave me. They're like, you play a talking bench, and in parentheses says, yes, a talking bench, get over it. Like that, it says that right in the fucking script. I'm like, hey, I didn't create this project. You created this project. If you need to give yourself a fucking pep talk mid-paragraph, that's your fucking problem, not mine. You play a talking bench, parentheses, yes, a talking bench, get over it. Hey, I'm fucking over it. Obviously, you're not the guy who created the talking bench spot. You felt you needed to include an excuse. I'm sorry you didn't write your novel and you're writing the talking bench spot. Oh, wait, I apologize. You didn't write the fucking talking bench spot. I have to write it on the fly. You came up with the idea of a talking bench and somehow pitched the NCAA and they went, great, let's find a bunch of dumb fucks to write the script for us in 30-second bites. So I'm driving around, and even though I know I've got an audition, even though I'm excited to get back in the game a little bit, I swear to God, out loud in the car, I keep going, could you write a fucking script for me? Write a fucking script. I can do wonders with a script. Because I still don't know who I am. I'm still trying to find out who I am as a guy and as a performer. I just am. Because I am torn. All right? I am torn between the ruthless bloodletting and precision of well-written jokes and this, which you get every week, which is incredibly fun, but indulgence is not something that producers allow you very often. That's why I always say I will never stop doing this fucking show, because I can do whatever the fuck I want for however long I want, and you can listen or you don't. That's that. But other shows where there are arbiters and guys who are holding the keys to the kingdom, they get to tell me what I have to do. They get to tell me what they want me to do, and I have to do it. Here I can do whatever the fuck I want. Well, what I want to do is this. And I think I have a nice mix of fucking just yelling and then also having sharpness. You know what I mean? It's just the thing. I can be dull and I can be sharp at the same fucking time. I don't know how I do it, but I do it. So, I mean, literally, I could stab you to death or I could fucking bludgeon you to death in this show. It doesn't matter. It just depends on which one I choose. So I can't decide, though, which is the better way. I'm torn because I love writing jokes. I mean, the last week, I went fucking joke machine on Twitter. Like literally on Twitter and Facebook, I just unleashed a ton of shit. And I put it all over there and I just kept writing jokes. I just churned and burned content because it was fun for me. It's fun, it's an exercise, and it gets your head in the game. Whereas with this, I mean, fuck, there's no word limit. There's no fucking character limit. We do have a character limit on this show. It's 2. She's 1 and I'm 1. That's it. There's your character limit for the 40-year-old boy. We decide what fucking goes, and that's how we want it. And then we've got a fucking consigliere puppet master overlooking everything in Chicago. He's taking care of business too. But on the show, there's 2 characters. Involved in the orbit of the show, there's 3. But these other fucking places, you know, they tell you what to do. And so, but then until they don't. Like I said, with this audition, they're just like, come on in, man, and be funny. That'll be great. I'm like, God damn it. Because and you know what's weird? Dudes, I'm funny. That's what I do all the fucking time. I'm funny, whether I'm here or somewhere else. I'm funny just because I am. It's in my fucking bones and I can't get rid of it. Nothing I can do about it. But when they tell me that I have to be funny, I go, fuck, why do I have to be funny? Well, dude, that's what you do. Just shut up and be funny. But why couldn't you hand me something to be funny with? Just be funny with what you got. You've got enough funny for everything. Honestly, you've got more fucking funny than everything in here. What?
I think there's 3 characters on this show because there's 2 in your head right now.
2? That's generous. Might be a bit more. But I, if you tell me that I have to be funny, I have no confidence that I'll be funny for you in that moment, even though I think that all I do is be funny all the goddamn time. So, fuck, I don't know what to do. All I know is I'm driving around on Wednesday and Thursday, and in my head I'm just going, write me a fucking script. Couldn't you write me a script? You want me to come in and be fucking funny? Couldn't you have something funny for me to read? I can make it funny. But then, in reality, why shouldn't I just be happy to rely on me being funny? Because I have, the only confidence I have in this world is that I'm fucking funny. The confidence I have is that I'm fucking funny. The only confidence I have is that I'm fucking funny, and that if jammed properly in your box, I will create a water slide. That's the only thing I can tell you for sure. That is the only confidence I have on this fucking planet. So fuck, I'm walking around, I'm just an idiot. You know, it's just because it's just a way to fucking, this is what I deal with, man. You psych yourself out, you talk yourself out of shit, you get in your own fucking head. And I'm like, well, can I do it? Because I haven't been doing it. So, you know, you lose that muscle and you're figuring, oh, well, fuck. You know, because I haven't been funny in front of people in a long time now. The last live show I did was fucking in Green Bay, and I need to schedule more of those. And then I haven't been in front of people, and I haven't done stand up, and I haven't been in a room, and I haven't auditioned and producers, and you just fucking, every reason in the world to tell yourself why this won't fucking work. And it's stupid. It's just dumb. It's this weird self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going to wind up fucking cutting your own balls off, and you don't want to fucking do that. You want to just go in and be funny. That's the bottom line. All they're asking me to do is the thing that I fucking do all the time and I'm best at. So shut the fuck up and do it. But again, as I said, I'm torn between the styles of funny. I don't know how to go about it. I don't know whether to just fucking just be funny. And like I said, I don't want to bludgeon them, or do I want to stab them? Do I want to bludgeon them, or do I want to stab them? So I decide I want to stab them. So Wednesday, I spent some time thinking about it. Like I said, I did the show, and then I went home that night, and I'm like, well, I can go ahead and get prepped for the audition. So I started to think of lines. Because here was the scenario. You're a bench. You're a talking bench. Get over it. You're a talking bench. And they will have some student athletes take a test, a math test or an English test or something, and then I will be the guy who gets the results. And then when they come in to play games, you know, basketball or football, whatever they're going to play, I will then make fun of them, and I will bust their balls over their test score, and I will bust their balls over anything. And it said, you know, and it had examples. They're like, you know, stuff like, oh, you know, the other team's coach really wants to put you in the game. Haha, whatever the fuck. And then when I read those examples, I'm like, well, why should I have any faith that they're going to create anything funnier than that? I don't know if I should. So I actually decided to write some lines, like some, you know, mean lines. And it said you can't swear, and you can't, you know, whatever the fuck. It's just, the NCAA is behind it. So you have to have, it's tone more than anything. That's what you need to keep in mind. Because, I mean, I'll just be fucking rude to you. I mean, I don't care if that's what you want, but I'm sure that's not what the NCAA wants. They want you to be gently chiding. And, you know, though a lot of you out there are thinking to yourselves, well, Mike is very good at gently chiding, I find myself going over the line a little bit sometimes. I certainly wish to gently chide, but I instead wind up more forcefully humiliating. So I had to find a delicate balance. So I'm writing lines, and I keep jotting them into my phone, onto my notes. And Sharon contacts me, and she's like, hey, you know, it's in a different building. We're going from 10 to noon. What time can we see you Thursday? Now, Thursday I was taping Never Not Funny. And I still didn't know what time Jimmy needed me. I contacted him. He told me 1:15. So, and I had to be in the gym in the morning. So I told Sharon, I go, look, I'll take the latest time you have. I'd prefer noon. She goes, we're done at noon. How's 11:40 sound? I said, great. I said, I'll be there, because then I can be in the gym, do my cardio, shower, shave, go to Never Not Funny. It'd be a perfect Thursday. So I get in the car, and like I said, I'm thinking of lines all night Wednesday night, and then on the way there, and then I walk into the audition, and auditions are just, you know, I've talked about them on here before. You don't go to one room where your audition is. You walk into a casting studio where there's fucking 15 different rooms with all sorts of different things going on. So you might walk past, you know, 40 guys juggling because they want to get in and impress the guys for a Wheaties commercial, and then there's another commercial, and then there's a PSA, and then there's a television show, and they're all fucking there, and it's just a zoo. You walk into a zoo, human zoo. So I walk in and I sit down, I sign in, and I'm you know, just there waiting, and there's other guys too, and it's all comedians, and I recognize some of them, and I recognize their names. And they're just out there waiting, just like I am. And they're all talking about, hey, well, and they're exchanging ideas. Hey, what do you think it should be like? And I guess they were casting not only for the talking bench, but there was also going to be a role of a coach. And it would be a coach who would walk in and look at the kids and go, what's your problem? You know what I mean? Because they're talking to the bench, and the coach doesn't hear the bench. That's the gimmick. So they're essentially casting two roles out of the year one audition. So there's dudes out there, and there's one dude who shows up, and there's always this guy at every single audition. The part is a talking bench and a coach or whatever. This guy shows up with a fucking whistle around his neck and a hat and like track pants and a matching shirt. Dude. What the fuck? You know what? Why didn't you just get a buzz cut and wear a suit like Lombardi if you want to pretend to be a goddamn coach? I don't... Nobody ever dressed the part and got the audition because of that. You're going in to improvise a scene Nobody gives a shit that you're not Johnny Bravo. They're not casting Johnny Bravo in this commercial. Nobody cares that you fit the suit. Guy walks in, whistle around his neck, hat on, fucking matching track outfit, and just you could hear the chortles, like, because dude, it's a bunch of comedians auditioning. They're just gonna ruin you. So they all kind of, and it was even worse. Nobody made fun of him. They all turned away, like they just like looked away, like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. All right, good for you. You want to throw in a chair at me, Bobby Knight? Whatever the fuck you want to do to get the part, go ahead. So he comes in and he's walking around. And that's things, all the comedians are like, well, how are you going to play it? Well, I was just going to be like a gruff coach, like you see on TV, you see on the show. And I'm just like, why are you guys discussing this out loud? Shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear from you. Because, don't you got to go in there and be funny for 30 seconds? Why don't you save all your energy? So two people walk out of a Volkswagen commercial and they sit next to me. And they're like, you want to run it? And the guy's like, yeah, I do. So it's a man and a woman, and they start running the Volkswagen commercial. Now, if you've seen Volkswagen commercials, they're all very snappy. And it's all, Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert, and it happened one night, and they're having this dazzling repartee over a goddamn Sentra or a Versa or whatever the fuck Volkswagen makes, a Jetta. I don't even know what the fuck they're called. But these two are having some conversation, and they sit right next to me, right next to me. It's bad enough I got fucking Joe Paterno stomping around, threatening to blow his whistle in my face. But now these two sit down to dazzle me with their German banter to sell me a goddamn fucking Volkswagen. And they're going on, and I'm like, and literally, so I in my phone, I'm making notes about jokes I'm going to do in the audition. But then I've been doing this thing where if I think of a Twitter thing or I just start writing them down immediately. And I just wrote down, forced to sit next to a peppy couple auditioning for Volkswagen. And now the Germans have another thing to apologize for. But then that morphed into, and now the Holocaust is the second worst thing Germany ever produced, because they were just terrible, and they're actors too, so they're like, and they're trying to, and they have no chemistry, so they're just kind of, they're not blending seamlessly. They're just meeting the end of each other's sentences with the beginning of the other sentence. I know that's weird. You need an ear for that, but you can hear when dialogue is clunking. And these two are just fighting one another. They're not blending. They're not seamless. They're just fighting one another because they're each doing their part rather than doing a commercial. So I'm sitting there, and they're like, you want to run it again? And I get up and I walk away. Like I can't. I probably, look, you know me. I probably went, and I got up. There's no probably. I did that because they fucking watched me walk away. They just stopped talking because it was the loudest sigh in the history of Los Angeles. As a matter of fact, a guy had to come by with a large piece of equipment and vacuum up that sigh. It left debris everywhere. So I walk over to the other side of the room and I just sit down and I'm buried in my phone. Comics are talking. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? What's happening with the audition? It's going to be great. I'm the coach. And I'm just like, I'm in my phone writing jokes. I'm just writing jokes. Because again, like I said, I've chosen to stab them. I understand it's a 30-second spot, but I'm going to write enough funny to where it's going to carry me through and it's going to be good. So Sharon walks out, and I haven't seen Sharon in a while, and she, I will say this, she did not recognize me, which was good. That's pretty cool. Because again, it's been a while. And I will tell you this about Sharon too. I have a Sharon thing. She's like Cuban and she's really short and she's a tiny girl and just, and funny and hot. So I've had that torch going for a long time, and I'm not in this capacity. Obviously I'm there in a professional capacity, but it's always good to see her because she's very attractive and I find her very funny. So she walks out. I think it was her. It may have been Cindy Lou Who. I don't know because it was a tiny, tiny girl holding a giant strawberry. So she comes out to give us a briefing, and she's like, hey, guys, this is just like pretend that you're in a club. And this guy's like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, just come in and be funny. She goes, that's all you got to do. It's just, you're a bench and you're making fun of these kids. You'll have access to their test scores. You won't have that today, obviously, but I will play the kid and you just make fun of me and do whatever you got to do. Just don't swear. But pretend you're in a club and a heckler is giving you a hard time and you would do it any way you would dispatch a heckler. And I think all the blood left my face. Like I was crestfallen because, as you guys know, I don't enjoy dealing with hecklers very much because all I do is I just fucking annihilate them. Like I have no gentle kid gloves with a heckler really. If somebody starts, I want to fight them because it's like, why are you interrupting me? Why are you doing this? And everybody else is just like, oh yeah, great. And she goes, yeah, it's the fun. Like when you're in a club and it's fun and there's a heckler. And I'm like, no, I've been in a club. It's not fun when a fucking heckler shows up. When a heckler says shit, that ruins everything. And then I have to fucking destroy that guy and get him out of the fucking way. That's it. I want to kill him and throw his body into the river so I can get out and do the rest of my goddamn show so then the headliners can go up and be not me. So she says that, and in my head I was like, oh, dude, are you, what? So now not only do I have to be funny on the fly, but now it's like in a heckler style like that. And again, I don't even know what the fuck that means. But I will tell you this, you know who overthinks it? Me. Because all I think of is that I should just oh yeah, just be funny. But instead I'm like a heckler and I get what, is she going to yell back at me? Do I have to fight with Sharon? Am I going to, because then do I specifically make fun of Sharon or is she supposed to be a kid? Like so I do, my fucking gears start turning. And actually, you know what would have worked at that point? Would have really got out of my head? Joe Paterno blowing a whistle. If he just blows a whistle, I'm back. I'm ready, and I'm ready to go. So instead, I sit down and I start thumbing through my material, and I'm just like, why? Because I actually wrote material. And again, it's literally why I don't do stand up. I have all of this material that a heckler has now ruined. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, well, fuck. You know what? Just go in there and be funny. Just do these lines. These lines are funny. You know they're funny. Because I'm constantly torn, and I've talked to you about this before. I'm torn between joke writing and this. I'm torn between stabbing and bludgeoning. Because in the one man, even in the one man, the first act of the one man was written. I sat down and I actually typed it out. Like I typed it out on like 8 pages or 10 pages. And it's funny, David will tell you, he goes, you know, dude, that's really strong, great writing, and you need to bring that to the rest of the show. But what I wound up doing was instead I did the first act, which was really kind of written, and then the rest of the act was almost not autopilot, but just me telling stories that I'm very familiar with. So the story about my mom, and then the story about everybody dies, and those were in my bones. Those were ingrained in me. They're in my blood, so I could just tell them. But the opening, I had to have an intro, and because I've never had an intro, so I had to have an opening act for the show, like an opening, you know, act one. And so I had to sit down and write it. So I'm torn. I never know which is the best approach. The one man was a combination. I stabbed you first and then I bludgeoned you the rest of the time. But now, for this show, I've decided I'm stabbing. I'm only stabbing. But now they've come out and said, hey, you know, a heckler, and I've bludgeoned a few hecklers. So they start bringing people in, and we're running behind, by the way. So now I'm starting to worry if I'm going to get to Never Not Funny on time. And the last thing I want is to be fucking late for Pardo's show, because he will fucking kill me. So I thought about texting them, but then they came out and they brought in a couple guys. It was fine. So I'm supposed to go in at 11:40, and at about 12:15, Sharon comes out again to brief everybody on what's going to happen. And there's only like 6 of us left. And then she turns around to walk in, and she looks at me and she goes, Mike, you're next. And I'm like, okay. And then she comes out, and it turns out I'm not next. There's a few guys ahead of me, so they have to go, and I'm sitting there, and it's okay with me. I lose myself on my phone. I'm just trying to look at my lines. And then it turns out it gets down to where it's just me and one other guy in the waiting area. And then Sharon comes out and she's like, you're definitely next. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm fine. I'm ready. So, and the producer and director, and we were waiting on the agency guy because the agency guy had to step out and make a phone call, and then he had to go use the restroom. And it turns out the director of this spot is a director from Punk'd. He's like the famous guy who, you know, puts together all these things. And Sharon right now is actually involved in a hidden camera show that I don't know if she owns it or pitched it, but she's one of the main actors. It premieres. It's Wendy Williams's, you know, hidden celebrity camera jamboree, whatever the fuck it's called. I have no idea. But it comes out later this month, and I'm excited for Sharon. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but I'm excited for Sharon because Sharon's great, and she's constantly pitching shows, and she's always working. I should tell you this too. Sharon is someone, when everything went to hell last year when Karen left, I reached out to people because I really felt like I was drowning. Like I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen because I had no gig, I had no anything, and I had bills, and it was crushing me. And Sharon would be one of the few people who actually wrote me back. And Sharon is someone I have a tenuous connection with. I only know her through stand-up, and when I see her, I've been friendly. But I was in that mode where I was just writing everybody that I kind of knew that I thought would be able to guide me in some way. And she reached out immediately and said, you are never bothering me. Here's what you do. And she gave me like 3 paragraphs of stuff and said, call these people, check with these people, do what you can. And did anything come from it? No. But the very fact that she was sitting there with a fucking life preserver when I needed it, I will never, ever forget it. So I love her. She's great. And so watch that show. I should think of the name of it to make it a success. Whatever. That again, like I said, it's the fucking hidden camera. Let's make fun of people extravaganza. All right, so Sharon's like, you're next. I'm like, okay. So I walk in the room, and if you've ever done an audition, or even if you have not, let me set it up. You walk in, and there's a microphone just there in the front of the room. And then there's 6 people splayed out on a couch in front of a coffee table that's full of half-eaten bagels and fruit. And one guy has a laptop and a camera, and he's going to slate you. And then they're going to just say, do it, go. Now, if you have lines, then you can do lines. Or they might have somebody to run lines with you. But if they just want you to go, you just fucking go. So I walk in, I get slated. And Sharon's like, all right, Mike, it's I told you outside it's super easy. I'm going to be the kid. I'm going to walk in. I'm going to sit down here. And when I sit down, this is the bench. And you just do what you do. Like if there was a heckler in a club. And I said, great. And I take my phone out and I'm holding it in front of me. And I start to scroll. And she goes, oh. She goes, what are you doing? I said, well, I wrote some stuff. She goes, put the phone away. And I said, what? She goes, yeah, you don't want to do that. It's okay. Just do like you would do in a club, man. Just go ahead and let a heckler have it. And I can see like the guys on the couch kind of grumbling, like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? And because I obviously didn't get it. You know, I brought prepared material to something that they just wanted to see you launch. So I was like, and I did not blink. I just went, oh, cool. Okay, no problem. So I put my phone away. Because, you know, if a room full of people tells you they don't want to be stabbed, then you fucking bludgeon them. So I walk up to the microphone, and there's a couple of people not paying attention. The director and the agency guy are watching me, but a couple other people they got their head in a notebook. And the guy slates me, and he goes, you ready? And I said, whenever. And Sharon's like, all right, whenever I walk out. And Sharon walks up to the bench, and she goes to sit down. And much like this show, I don't really remember a lot of what I fucking said. All I remember is for sure she sat down. And I go, sit up. She goes, what? I go, sit up. And she jumped out of the chair, and I go, you don't get to sit down yet. And I unleashed the bees on this entire fucking room. Like I didn't breathe. It was this. I did the show. I did a 30 to 45 second version of this fucking show. Sharon would try to talk back, and I steamrolled the fuck out of her. Like I didn't let, and I had a mean look on my face because I was fucking pissed. They made me put my fucking phone away, and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. You want to get bludgeoned? I am going to beat the fuck out of everybody in this goddamn room with my fucking voice. And so she did that, and she stood up, and I just unleashed. And as I'm going, and I'm like, bam, 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 and I'm fucking hitting her and hitting her and hitting her. And the people who had the notebook put the notebook down and start watching me. And I'm hitting her and hitting her and hitting her. And the fucking director just goes, ha ha, and claps. And I'm just hitting her and hitting her. And the agency guy goes, fuck yeah. And I just fucking unloaded. And I was just going to keep going. I didn't fucking care. I was going to keep going until they just fucking told me to stop. And finally Sharon stands up and she's like, well, you know what? I don't need to take this from you. I'm going to go home. And I said, good. You go home. And you make sure your mom makes your room nice because you're going to be living there the rest of your life. And Sharon walked away. And the fucking agency guy, he just starts clapping. He goes, fuck yeah. And the director goes, that, right? Like they just start like all looking at one another. And they go, that was it. Fucking fantastic. I'm like, they were just, all of them. Because again, there was this indifference in the room, and I was the second to last guy. They'd been seeing guys for 2.5 hours, and it's that fatigue that sets in because you've seen the same person do the same thing or come in and blow a whistle or be a goddamn coach. And you know what they saw? Something they'd never fucking seen before. They saw somebody fucking come in and just peel a cap on everybody. And again, I'm Run DMC. I don't know why I'm fronting and peeling caps. But you know what? I unleashed the bees. That's all I fucking did. I bludgeoned them. I bludgeoned the whole fucking room. I beat him to death. And Sharon turns around and looks at them. And they go, that was it. That was perfect. It was perfect. And she goes, do you want to see him again? No, we're good. And Sharon walks up to me. And as she turns her back to them, she's facing me. And she just mouths, oh my God. And we walk out into the hallway. And she hugs me. And she goes, thank you for making me look amazing. And I go, no, are you kidding me? I go, Sharon, I haven't auditioned in 3 years. I'm so excited that you thought to include me. She goes, no, that was incredible. You were so great. She goes, that was the director who, because again, I didn't know who it was. I'm telling you now, it was the director and the agency guy. She tells me, he goes, that was the director and the agency guy clapping and cheering and saying, fuck yeah. And I went, well, I I mean, I can't thank you enough. She goes, no, you made me look great. Because I wasn't on the list. Sharon put my name. They don't know. They didn't call my agent. I don't have a fucking agent. It was just, she thought of me because she's heard this and she knows this and threw me in the mix. This is last Thursday. And I was fucking, I basically flew to my car. Like I didn't even walk. I literally floated out of the goddamn building because again, it's those bursts of adrenaline when you realize that you can do this and you know what you're doing and you know what you're supposed to do. And I was in my fucking head for 2 days about it. But then when it came time to do it, I fucking destroyed it. I destroyed it. And again, I couldn't possibly repeat what I said because it was all said in the moment. Like it's like I couldn't recreate one of these shows. I couldn't recreate any episode of the show. It's a standalone piece of work and it comes out in the moment. And that's what happened in that room. But I did get to my car and immediately on Facebook, I went, this is an opportune time to remind you that I'm really good at what I fucking do. Because I was so happy. I was so fucking happy. And everybody was great. And they chimed in, yes, we know. And you remind us every Thursday. And it was really cool. And I had to call Lenny because the commercial we were filming on Saturday, Sunday. And I had doubles scheduled on Saturday, Sunday. And so I had to let him know that he had to cover my shifts if I was to get the gig. And he's, he's an actor, so he totally gets it. I'm like, dude, this is terrible. And I hate to drop this in your lap now, but I might have a commercial, and if I do, it's filmed Saturday and Sunday, and so you're going to have to cover the doubles. And he just writes me back, cool, let me know what happens. I mean, he knows, and you'll make it work, because he knows I'm not in town to fucking deliver corn. And I guess that's one of the things I was most happy about, is you get the respite, you find out that you're not in town to deliver corn. You know what I mean? It was like even rampaging over and then missing the first audition, then going back to the callback, you just get that feeling where you're like, yeah, this is going to work. This is going to be fucking fantastic. And I knew also the turnaround time was going to be super quick because we were going to film on Saturday. They needed to let me know right away on Thursday or maybe even early on Friday because I would have to be over there and I had the call times and all that stuff. So they don't let me know on Thursday, and then Friday I show up because I had another double at work on Friday. So I showed up for my double, and finally I haven't heard anything by like 1. And start to flag a little bit, and I'm wondering what's happening. And again, I don't have an agent to check on anything for me, so I have only one avenue, and I have to contact Sharon, which I didn't want to do. But I wrote her and I said, listen, I'm probably overstepping, and I apologize, but you were my contact on this. I'm just wondering if I'm involved this weekend, or if they went in a different direction, or if they've made a decision just yet. I apologize. I don't mean to be that guy. Just let me know when you get the chance. And half hour goes by and nothing, and then another half hour goes by and nothing, and then finally 15 minutes later, which is like an hour and 15 minutes after the first email from her, she writes back and just says, hey, you're not overstepping at all. Thank you so much for letting me know, and thank you again for making me look great. They went with the black guy.
They went with the black guy. What?
They went black guy for the voice, and she goes, and I don't even know who they cast as the coach. But they wanted to have an ethnic voice. Otherwise, basically it was me or the black guy, and they chose to go with the ethnic voice. She didn't say that in so many words, but she basically said they went with the black guy voice rather than the really funny guy voice, I suppose. And I'm sure the black guy was hysterical.
Oh,
but it just goes, but then she wrote, but you were fantastic.
oh,
And the important thing is that you were fantastic in front of this director who has so much work and always needs funny guys. And now you're on his radar, and he absolutely knows who you are and what your name is. And that was the important thing to Sharon. The important thing to me would have been the $3,000 I was going to make on Saturday. But I guess we all have different levels of import. So I didn't get it, but I was fucking amazing. And the agency guy gave me a standing ovation, and the director was clapping. And it just goes to show how things are in this business, that, you know what? They went with the black guy. And you're like, okay, because you know what? How many other businesses does that answer make sense? Dude, they went with the black guy. Yes, they did. Of course they did, because that's what they wanted. You know what I mean? It's like if you were trying to get a job at a hospital, like, hey man, we're going with the black guy. You'd be like, you shouldn't tell me that. That's wrong, right? But when you're casting a project, you choose the voice that you want. And they probably in the beginning, in their mind all along, they had that voice in their head. And then he came in and he was just good enough, or he might have been better than me. I don't know. All I know is I got a fucking standing ovation from the agency guy. But I will tell you this, it's also a testament to me and how long I've been doing this, that I didn't bat a fucking eye when they told me I didn't get it and they went with a black guy. Like, I was just like, yep, of course they did. You know what I mean? It's just, Because you're so used to hearing it. I mean, I've been so close on things before. I was close to like 6 commercials with Coors, and I was supposed to get it, and then it fell through. And you're like, God damn it. You know, things happen. I was just telling Lily about a project someone I know is involved in, and it's like, he's super close, but it could fall through at any goddamn moment. And that's the way it works. All it takes is one producer or one guy who had something in his head, and everything fucking changes. But what I did gather from this was that I can fucking do this still. You know what I mean? It's just, it gives you that short burst. And will that continue? Will I still drive around in fucking circles and question myself? Of course I will. I do it all the goddamn time. Because if I didn't, who else would I be? You know what I mean? If you can't rest on any laurels that you have. You can't, because obviously it hasn't worked out to this point. I mean, I'm really good when I get a chance, but will I ever get another chance? I don't fucking know. But the point is, you just have to be ready when called. And I was ready when called. And I had 2 different ways to attack you. I could have fucking stabbed you, and I could have bludgeoned you. And I got to realize, you know what? I can do both. I think I can fucking do both. All right? And I'm willing to do it. I can work from a script. I can work from something I wrote, or I can just work off the top of my goddamn head. I talk about precision and brilliance and writing and Gaffigan and Regan and Hedberg, but you know what? There's something to be said for hitting somebody right in the fucking head with a giant baseball bat of funny and not even looking back, not even thinking fucking twice. I'm an artist. I'm a goddamn artist. I mean, sure, it's finger painting. I mean, I recognize that. And yeah, I might go outside the lines a little bit. I'm a verbal figure painter who goes out of the lines. I'm a goddamn artist. You know what? I'm an artist. And my medium is chaos. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. Our friend David Hernandez does all of the artwork for the show, all of the music for the show. He is our consigliere in Chicago. He is the puppet master. He is overlooking everything that's going on. You want to be his friend? Go to Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. And you can also hire him to do any artwork you would need for him to do for you. Go to artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH.com. You can actually visit the website and check out all the stuff that he's done in the past, look at his portfolio and a lot of the artwork he's done for us, as well as other projects, and see if he can do something that's right for you, because I guarantee you he will do something amazing. We've had people from listeners who've enlisted him, and he's just done great work for them. So if you want him to do, go ahead and contact him, artbydmh.com. My producer is Lily Von Stupp. She is here right now, and she is followable. Followable? Is that a word? You can follow her at several different Twitter accounts. Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, Twitter.com/MNTs, and Twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest. You can find her at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and ask her to touch your electronic knee, you can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Joe business. Joe, oh, you're dirt, dirt. Joe business. Joe, oh, you're dirt, dirt. Joe business. Joe, oh, you're dirt, dirt. Don't tell me that you haven't bought the big angry. Not yet. Buy it at your business. Look at that kick-ass art for sale. Tweaked audio just cannot fail. Buy it at your business. Hey, the Schminny comes alive. He'll like rap or buy you 1 through 5. Joe, oh, you're dirt, dirt. Buy it at your business.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. The producer of that show is a lovely woman and a good friend to you and to me. And she happens to be here right now. Her name is Lily Von Stupp. Hey, Lily, how are you?
Hello, Michael.
I'm so sorry. You're in pain. Your knees are in pain. Your jaw is in pain. These are normally porn star afflictions, but somehow you've come down with them.
Porn star affliction.
Knees and jaw? Come on, that seems like tailor-made for porn star girls. That's something Ginger Lynn should be complaining about, not my good friend Lily. Clean living Lily. How are you, other than the pain?
I'm fine.
And you had the big time Meat Fest this week but I could not attend. I apologize, because apparently there was a lot of cock there, and I should have shown up. But Meat Fest went well.
It did.
You're still a little glazed over by Meat Fest, it looks like.
Yeah, it ended with a bang.
Can
no
we
whimper.
can we talk about what you said to me about Meat Fest?
The end of the night?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Lily said she went into the back of the room because she sold out.
Yes.
And Lily's just like, women are insane. Like I can't explain women at all.
Yeah. They
So
were nuts. They were absolutely nuts.
and so say what you said. You went into the back room where the men were.
I went into the back room where the men were, and I said, "Hey guys, I gotta ask you a question here." I'm like, these women were crazy. You guys don't feel like sexually objectified and like creeped out by this, do you? And they were all like, "Oh no, it was all show. It was fun. It was great." And I was like, "Okay, because like if you guys ever behaved that way while I was performing, I would be really creeped out."
Yeah, call the FBI or something. Yeah. Well, good. Well, but that's what you want at Meat Fest. That's exactly what, and you're going to be doing it again, of course.
Yeah.
It's a fun show. I did go to one of them the one year. I literally could not attend this week, but I would go again because it was totally. I mean, dude, there's something to be said in a room full of like hot women in the vibe. I mean, it's like, granted, I enjoy watching a show with women, but when the dudes are performing, the women are just going crazy. It's just screaming. It's really fun. It's a great deal. So, so I'm glad it went well, and I'm glad you survived
Yeah,
it.
it was awesome.
I just like the idea of you going back into a room full of naked dudes and just being like, all right, fellas, let's go. Let's pick it up. You're just this fucking dead mother of cock. It's great.
I was.
Yeah, it's perfect. Who's there this week at the crazy Monday Night
We're
Teas?
doing Wheel of Burlesque this week. Red's performing. Gosh, I can't even remember who else is performing. We have a website for that.
Well, Wheel of Burlesque is let's explain the concept. There's a wheel, like a genuine like wheel of fortune on stage, and the girls spin it, and whatever song it lands on, they have to dance to that song. So they don't get to prepare anything. But it's really kind of a seat of the pants show. You should come out and check it out. They spin the wheel, song lands, no preparation. They just hit the song, and those girls have to dance to that song. That's pretty amazing. And it was a huge hit when you did it recently. You did it about 2 months ago.
We've done it twice now, and people loved it.
It's great. It's really fun. So, and our friend Red Snapper will be there. And then just, you know what you do? Go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas and become a member on that page. You'll get all the information for upcoming shows. You can go to MondayNightTeas.com. Is that a site?
You can.
Okay, go to MondayNightTeas.com for all the information you get. Get on the mailing list. You get mailers sent to you to tell you all about who's coming and when they're coming. And you can always go to brownpapertickets.com and buy tickets for the upcoming shows. There's all sorts of shows in February here at the 3 clubs in Santa Monica and Vine. And please remember, in March 22nd, there is the Reservoir Burlesque Quentin Tarantino tribute show at the Yost Theater in Santa Ana, California. I will be hosting that show. We've got at least 11 acts, maybe more. And it's going to be fun. And already it is half sold out. Last week it was a third, and now it is a half. And this is, again, a month out. So it is going to sell out. If you want tickets, please make sure you purchase them at yosttheater.com. Or is it yosttheatersantaana.com?
Yosttheater.com.
Yosttheater.com. That's YOST. Theater.com. You can get tickets through there. You can go to brownpapertickets.com and look for tickets there. And all sorts of festival tickets available too coming up for the Hollywood Burlesque Festival. You just if they want to go to facebook.com/Hollywood Burlesque Festival, they can become members of that. And then that, of course, is coming up at the end of this year, but they gradually announce headliners, all sorts of cool stuff. So please remember to join facebook.com/Monday Night Teas, facebook.com/Hollywood Burlesque Festival. Go to yosttheater.com and look for the March 22nd Saturday night show where the Reservoir Burlesque that I'll be hosting, the Tarantino tribute show. It's going to be fantastic. Tickets available at Brown Paper Tickets for all of these events. So just go in there and put in Lily's name, or just look for Burlesque and you'll find the best events, and you'll find our friend Lily. Her name is always there. Go to facebook.com/the40year-old-boy and be my friend. While you're there, go to the Westside 86 Jokers page and become a fan of this show. It is because everybody's like, you should create a 40-year-old boy page too, but why? I already have the Westside 86 Jokers page. There's too many pages. I can't have that many pages. But Westside 86 Jokers is the official fan club page of this show. Join. That would be great. I'm on there. Max is always posting new media and stuff on there, which is fun. So become a fan of the show. Go to facebook.com/Westside86Jokers. And that's the number 86. I believe it's Westside. Is it facebook.com/Westside86Jokers? Can you look? Lily will look and we'll find out for sure, but I don't want to send you to the wrong place. Because again, I know a lot of you are new. And please remember, Ashley, if you were listening to this show and you had year one sent to you. No, it's not. What is it? Facebook.com/
I can fix that. It's facebook.com/group/ and then there's a number.
Oh boy. Facebook.com/garble. But now we're going to change it to Facebook.com/Westside86Jokers. We're going to try. Hold on. I'm just parroting you now at this point. You're like, we're going to try. Hold on. We're going to try. Hold on. So Lily is right now in there doing some Facebook surgery because she is, as you know, one of the two characters on this show, and she's the smart one who gets to handle all of the cool stuff. While she's doing that, I will also tell you to go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com.
Okay.
It's done?
It is now facebook.com/groups/Westside86Jokers, and it's 86.
Facebook.com/groups/Westside86Jokers. And please remember to use the number 86 and join, man. Be a fan of the show. That would be great. Please remember that you can go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. TweakedAudio.com is a huge sponsor of this show. They've got earbuds, they've got gear, they've got all sorts of fun stuff, cock-ring watches. Go to TweakedAudio.com/40 for your deal to save money on whatever they're selling over there these days. Bruce and everybody over there, terrific people. On the MikeSchmidtComedy.com website, the Joe Business page, there's all sorts of downloads for you to buy stuff. For the Life of Schmitty, the single download. Schmitty Comes Alive. Year 1, Year 2, Year 3, Year 4, Year 5 of this podcast, all available. Or you can buy them collectively as the UN of Evil box set, always available. The Yurt Dirt Dirt shirt is available now. All sizes, all colors. Well, if you like black. We went with the black shirt. Thought it could be me, but instead they decided, you know what, I had an idea in my head and I went with the black shirt. So that's available. I also keep threatening that I'm going to open an eBay store with older shirts, which I should do at some point, but who knows? I have literally I have one day off and then I work a ton of doubles. Next week I have some days off, but I've got tons of plans, and you'll benefit of those because whatever plans I do have, I get to bring and tell you about. It's going to be great. Also, while you're there, they have the Amazon pennant on the wall. Click through the Amazon pennant and do all of your Amazon shopping in our store, or just click through and then shop in regular Amazon and we get credit for it, which is pretty cool. We appreciate that. We are an Amazon affiliate, and we hope that you would allow them to benefit from your affiliation with us. We are not only a you affiliate, we are an Amazon affiliate, which makes you an Amazon affiliate as well, affiliated with me. I just like saying affiliate. My CD, The Big Angry, is available as if you want to buy it on the website, and I will personalize it and send it to you and write your name on there and my name, and that's great. I might even write the word thanks. Always in green Sharpie. Did I mention our friend Raquel, what Raquel sent me for Christmas? Our friend Raquel is a listener to this show. I got a Christmas gift. I'm woefully behind on telling people about these. It was a box, and I shook it, and it made noise. I'm like, oh, I don't know what this is. So I opened it up. It's like a book. It looks like a book anyway. And then I open it up. It's not a book. It's like a box shaped like a book, and I open it up. There's got to be 25 green Sharpies in there. And her card was, I hope you spend the entire year wearing out the ink on these signing CDs and autographs, which was super cool. So that's our friend Raquel. Thank you, Raquel. You're so nice. And Raquel is super hilarious on Facebook, too, by the way. You know what? Why not just go ahead and be friends with Raquel Comer on Facebook? I'll give her last name. Why not?
Well, there you go.
Yeah, you just got sucked into the machine. How's that grab? Yeah. But she's totally funny, and so go ahead and be her friend, and she writes great stuff. She wrote something about Elkie Summer today that made me laugh. It was just silly. It was just like, she's like, Elkie Summer's, what was it? Elkie Summer still refusing my friend request. And I was going to write one about Rula Lenska, but I did not. I held off. Because there's just a chance that my sub-reference would be just dumb enough where she wouldn't get it, and she'd be like, I'm funny and you're not. And I'd be like, okay, I'll mail you back your Sharpies. But she is our friend, so go be her friend. Why not? Why not? If we're on Facebook, if you're on Facebook looking for things to do, be those people's friends. Be friends with everybody you've ever met. Now, I threw out some thank yous last week. I need to amend them. I mentioned a Think Geek gift certificate, and I didn't know who it came from. It came from our good friend, South Philly Paul. He wrote me back. And by the way, I thought it was a Christmas gift. I think it was a birthday gift. He's like, yeah, dude, I sent you that for your birthday last year. I'm like, oh, okay. So South Philly Paul sent that. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. And he's like, come back to Philly. And I'm like, I'm trying. I will soon. Well, not soon, but hopefully. Our friend Steve in New York had sent me an AMC gift card. And then I talked on here that I did not get it. And so Steve, thinking that he had to make good somehow, then went and bought me an ArcLight gift card, which he did not have to do. It was really nice of him and super cool. And thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Steve also sent me 45 emails about my car this week, which I don't quite understand. Steve, put the laptop down. Enough. So thank you to those people. Also, you know what? I don't know if I ever mentioned this. Our friend Jeff came and saw me in San Antonio, and he handed me the Wildlife soundtrack, which I've talked about on here. There's a movie called The Wildlife, and Eddie Van Halen did the score for it. And he had a song called Donut City, which then got reappropriated into the different kind of Truth album, into a different song, whatever. You don't care. But he handed it to me. He's like, here's the DVD. I think he gave me the DVD and the CD. And it totally it fried my mind until I was cleaning my desk and I found the CD and I'm like, holy shit, I don't think I ever mentioned this. So I immediately put it into my computer and listened to Hanover Fist do In the Metal of the Night and listened to Donut City and fucking enjoyed it. And then just shortly thereafter, I got a note from Jeff going, hey, did you ever try it, that wildlife thing? Because I don't know if I ripped it, so I wasn't sure if it would work. So Jeff, yes, it works. Awesome. Thank you for giving that to me. I appreciate it. There's another listener to this show who has been very kind to me. I've done his podcast, which is 10 minutes about your favorite movie. And he came to see me in Green Bay once, and he taped the show. He videotaped it. And I don't think I ever got a copy of it, quite frankly, because I actually had a pretty big error in that show that I did not want to rewatch. It was a 3-hour show that was great, except for I made an error for 5 seconds and went, I don't want to watch this because that's who I am. I just can't. Even to watch it and fucking realize that it was good, and who cares? I'm an idiot. But thank you for doing that. And he's also made those kinetic type trailers for the show. That's our friend Rob Matsushita. Well, Rob is also a playwright. And, we have a few playwrights. Our friend David Williams, who helped me with my one man. He's a great guy, and he's also got a play opening at some point. But we're here to talk about Rob's, our friend Rob Matsushita. Rob has a show called Boogie of the Apes. And I'm going to read what he said. It's a fast-paced retelling of the first 4 Planet of the Apes movies in less than 1 hour. They take the recordings from read-along comic books from the 70s, they lip-sync them and act them out based on how a little kid might interpret them, and also there are dance numbers. Listen, folks, if you want to see dancing monkeys, if you want to see lip-syncing dancing monkeys, you know where you go? You go to the Crane Theater in New York City. That's 85 East 4th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. I don't know why 4th Street is between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. Fuck you, New York, quite frankly, because that's not how numbers work, but good for you. The Crane Theater in New York City, 85 East 4th Street between 2nd and 3rd. Info and tickets, you can go to frigidnewyork.info/show/290. frigidnewyork.info/show/290. And you can also find them on Facebook at facebook.com/boogieworld. So again, that's the Crane Theater, New York City, 85 East 4th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. Info and tickets are found at frigidnewyork.info/show/290. And you can also go to facebook.com/boogieworld. There are only 5 performances of this show in New York. February 26th at 5:30 p.m., February 28th at 7:05 p.m., March 1st at 5:15 p.m., March 2nd at 2:05 p.m., and March 3rd at 7:05 p.m. The 26th at 5:30, the 28th at 7:05, the 1st at 5:15, the 2nd at 2:05, and the 3rd at 7:05. That's a lot of 05s in that performance schedule. And I will tell you this for 40-year-old boy listeners right now. If you go to frigidnewyork.info/show/290, special discount price if you put in the discount code SCHMITTY. SCHMITTY, which, by the way, is how you spell Schmitty. SCHMITTY. People will write me SCHMIDDY or SCHMIDTY. It's 2 T's. Schmitty. Convert it. SCHMITTY, and that's all lowercase. That's the discount code Schmitty, and it gets you $2 off your ticket price. And that's if you go to frigidnewyork.info/show/290. And I should tell you this, Rob wrote me, and he was willing to pay to have this mentioned on the show. He's a nice guy. He's like, dude, I know you just did a show last week. We were talking about a sponsor. And by the way, Spencer the sponsor, Lily is in the mix. She's got the info and she's going to contact you soon. But our friend Rob was like, dude, you talked about it last week and I know it's a weird thing, but I have a question. How much would I have to pay to get the play mentioned in New York? And here's what I wrote. Just send the info, Rob. Someday, and that day may never come, I will call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, consider this justice a gift on my podcast recording day. And so Rob wrote back, may your podcast be a masculine podcast. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. So that's available. Go ahead and get tickets for that show and enjoy yourselves. And also go to facebook.com and MikeSchmidtComedy.com and facebook.com/Monday and all of these plugs are relative. Remember I was on the live Comedy Film Nerds show that aired a couple of weeks ago. And remember that they're doing their documentary Kickstarter deal. If you want to visit that, go ahead to the Earbuds documentary on Kickstarter and visit and find out all the neat stuff that they're giving away or that you can have if you support that show. And watch the trailer and see me be awesome. And also remember, I'm on Never Not Funny. Now that show is only available in the Players Club, but why not join the Players Club, baby? You get all the information and all the cool stuff that's happening. And I'll tell you what, if you don't want to join the Players Club, just buy Never Not Funny Season 1, because then you won't have to pay for 1 hour. You'll be paying for 54 hours. 55 hours? Yeah, I think it was show 56 where I bailed and they had to fucking talk really softly into microphones because I wasn't there and they had to explain it. I don't remember. I just know it was crazy awkward, and people thought it was a bit. They kept waiting for me to jump in and talk, but nope, that did not happen. And you know what, folks, I got up today and I took a shower. I didn't go to the gym today. I went to the gym yesterday, but I got showered today, and I got out and I grabbed my salmon shirt. Should we take a photo of the salmon shirt and put it online for people to see? I don't know. Maybe we will.
Just the shirt.
Just the shirt, yeah.
Picture of the fabric.
I'll do that. Just a swatch. What, you want to tear off a swatch of it and let people see it? So I got up and I was getting ready to leave the house because I had to leave super early for the early record today, which, and by the way, we're in real time. So we started at 10:30, and so now it's what, 1?
4:42.
It's 4:42. Folks, things happen. So I picked up my salmon shirt, and then I have been conducting an experiment. Well, not really. I've been waiting to conduct an experiment at my house. I made the switch a few years ago from Speed Stick to Speed Stick Gel. And I've worn Speed Stick Gel for like 6 years, probably. I don't know why I did. I just made that switch, and I decided it was the way to go. Well, now, Speed Stick Gel is like $4 a thing, but regular Speed Stick is only $1.99. And then in my head, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I don't have horrible like body issues, so why wouldn't I just go back to regular Speed Stick? So I had one Speed Stick, and I put it in the mix because you know me, I'm a hoarder. I bought like 5 deodorants at once. Well, I put it fourth in line, so I used 3 fresh rushes, and then the next one is going to be regular Speed Stick, and with a backup gel just in case the regular Speed Stick doesn't work. How uninteresting is this? I don't care. So today it was time to break out the new deodorant, and I just a regular Speed Stick, and I used it, and I think I may take another shower when I go home. because I don't like scents. Well, here's the thing. I like smells. There's certain smells I like. You know what I love? I wish I could wear cologne, man. I really wish I could wear cologne again, because there's 3 colognes that I really love. There's a stuff called Burberry Touch, which I love. There was a stuff called Clarins, and it's an asexual, an omnisexual, a unisexual. I don't know what the fuck it is. Men and women can wear it. And I smelled it on a dude once, and I was like, what the hell is that? Like, it was awesome. All right, you want to know what happened? I was in Tahoe at my friend Katie's tanning salon, and some dude went in to tan, and he left his necklace on her desk, and when he put it down, it went past my face, and I smelled it. I was like, what the fuck? And I didn't say it when he was there. I let him go back and tan, but when he did, I picked up his necklace and I smelled it. I like smelled this dude's necklace, and I'm like, that is amazing. And she smelled it. She's like, oh my God. So when he came out, I go, dude, why does your necklace smell amazing? And he's like, oh, that's my stuff. It's called Clarins. And then I bought it, and I started to wear it ever since. But this is like literally like fucking 18 years ago. So I wore Clarins, I wore Burberry Touch, and I also like just regular Clubman. Pinard Clubman that you would get in a barber shop, like it was an aftershave smell. Oh my God, I love that stuff. It just smells like a dude. It just smells like a fight. It's so great. So I love those 3 scents, but I can't. But also now I'm 46, man. I can't be putting fucking smell liquid on me anymore. I gotta smell like me. I gotta smell like Mike Schmidt. I smell good. I smell okay, but not today. I smell swarthy. That's what I smell. I think I smell swarthy. Like I smell like a cab. This is just a really strong. Maybe I just got to find a different flavor Speed Stick, but this particular one is nasty. So I got to go pick it up. And it's funny. I was gonna go shopping today because I got to get shoes. Whatever the fuck, you don't care about shoes. Get this, dude. I have all these jeans that are like, because I'm losing like a ton of weight. So I'm trying to figure out what my true jean size is. So I went to the store yesterday and I tried on. I can get into, comfortably, I can wear a 38 waist, which is fucking phenomenal. It's been a long time. I could probably get into a 36 if I wanted. But here's the thing. I put on the 38 waist, and the legs were like straight legs, because they were, there was a gabardine slack I tried on, and then I tried on like a Calvin Klein pant, and I threw them on, and dudes, but the thing is, they make, fat guys get a boot cut. You know what I mean? Like they're at the bottom of their pants, it's like wide. Because they're like, this fat elephant needs all the room he can get. But on these slacks, I put them on, and they're for tiny guys. So I tried them on, and I got to be honest, it was pretty fucking amazing, because the waist was awesome and it fit perfect, and my thighs were kind of like, you could see my thighs through the pants, but my calves, dudes, like if I would have flexed, I was gonna fucking Hulk out on these pants and just destroy them, because my calves are fucking giant. So these straight leg jeans or straight leg pants, they were hugging my calves, and I looked, and I gotta admit, it was pretty fucking awesome, because I looked in the mirror and I went up on like my tiptoes, and you could see my calves flex through the pants, and I'm like, I gotta buy these just to flex my calves with people. And then they're like, nobody looks at your fucking calves, you idiot. And then they're like, well, I'll make them look at my calves. And I'm like, wait, you're gonna buy pants to make people look at their calves? human lunch meat. I'm nobody. I'm baloney in pants. God damn it. Why do I think I'm somebody special? Why do I think I'm anybody interesting? I'm not. All I bring to the table is everything that everybody else does, but louder. Don't hit snooze on me, motherfucker. I am a hilarious noise machine. I'm going to tell you this. You need to sit down and reevaluate your life if you can pull 2 midget Indian wrestlers out of your skull at any time. You know what? I don't even need you people here. Seriously, I do this. I love me. I don't give a fuck what you think, how you think. God damn it, I'm the greatest. I can't go for Schmidt. No, no. No can do. 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 No can do.